times 2?
6.
Okay. Hey.
Get their city. Population Iris.
Okay.
So, this descending.
About frozen grapes. It'll help with the wake-up process.
Nice. Now, who can give the fastest recap so that we can do stuff?
You got new allies. Now we fight.
True.
Accurate.
Okay. Slightly more than that. We met Sprite, Legacy's friend
Long-time best friend.
longtime best friend, who's a mess, but in a good way.
And
We
has
met Calamity.
all the horniness for Lockhart, who is unamused by it.
She would be, I would think, defined as a hot mess.
Accurate.
Okay. The urge to sing the song Hot Mess by Starship is very strong. But I'm going to move past that. We met Calamity, who is also a horny mess.
And has fucky voice powers.
Funky voice powers that got us all when she did JJ. Also a hot mess, but is more attracted to Legacy.
And is also the kind of leader of sorts of another cell of Ghost Protocol, and also a demolitions expert? Question mark?
Yeah.
She's the one that JJ goes to get supplies for fucking shit up, right?
Yeah. Any sort of armaments, ballistics type bullshit, he goes to her for.
Also, Kaya got her first kiss from one of said hot messes. And laid everything out for Calamity, and Calamity is on board to help with whatever. Calamity also works more in Turing, so yay.
Yeah. She's got the fucking cheat sheet for Turing that she painstakingly wrote up herself. Apparently also laying it all out for Calamity, and Calamity's first response is like, man, we gotta step up our game. You guys have been doing so much.
Yeah, you guys were on the news, but like in the best way possible, which means you did something that showed up on the news but didn't get your face shown with it.
Holy shit.
Because Legacy is a paranoid fuck, that's why.
We talking more about what we're going to be doing with the festival and all the connections people have about the robots. And oh yeah, Kaya realized she can make bombs if she wanted to.
Yeah, like weirdly good at making explosive devices in a technical sense.
Yeah, Calamity and Kaya had a nerd moment about explosives, which is mildly concerning, but at the same time, out of all of the main crew, Kaya is the one that we should trust the most with explosives. The rest of us should not be trusted with explosives.
That, you know what? I'll take that. Yeah.
And then we were rudely interrupted in our talk and discussions by a bunch of Terabyte boys busting in, screaming about wanting to see some bitch in a jacket. And so Legacy's like, okay, Lockhart's still fucked up, but you two knuckleheads are fighters, and like is in the process of shoving Marcus and Sprite out the door first.
Legacy's in the process of shoving Marcus and Sprite out the door. Kaya's in the process of slowing Lockhart down. Like, hold on a second.
Legacy
Hold up.
Legacy did make the point of like looking at Lockhart as Lockhart started to try and square up of like, hey, look, let these two go do the fighting. You can pick off the stragglers that try to run away. So Legacy is not going to stop Lockhart from fighting.
Kaya. We'll try.
Try. I was about to say, try is the key word there.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Like I said, she will try.
Awesome. So, with that out of the way, thank you for the recap. You will pick right up on that beat. So, Marcus and Sprite are getting pushed out. Sprite more or less walking herself out. She's very excited to have conflict. She loves a good, like, fuck around and find out moment. Or they love a good fuck around and find out moment. But both of these two are one more enthusiastically than the other, walking out kind of in tandem. And just looking at the demeanor of the two of them as they walk, you can see Marcus is trying to project a kind of like almost threatening. He is trying to be kind of imposing. He has his shoulders kind of pushed back, but his head is tilted a little bit so that he's looking a little almost through his brow line. And you can see that this is not quite a Lockhart look, but he picked it up from somewhere.
Legacy stole his jacket before he left because he had the leather jacket. So now, also, fucking big ass metal arms.
Yes, underneath his jacket, he was wearing just similar to his token. He was wearing a pretty plain white T-shirt, like a crew neck shirt, and like you can see, everybody can see that from just the upper part of the sleeve down, his arms are entirely synthetic, and they are not anatomically perfectly accurate, but they look pretty close to it for what they are. And you can actually see, he mentioned that he had an upgrade put in, and you can see that the fibers and cables in the midst of them, there is a red and gray like strand of cable that goes down. Like if your arm is just at rest by your side, it would go down to the part facing away from, it'd be like along the back of your arm. So it would go over your elbow and then back along your wrist and then turn over and then slightly onto your palm. And it's perfectly matched on both sides. That one strand, it looks slightly different from the other ones in that it is not colored some shade of black, but also the material, just getting a quick glance at it, it looks different. Like it's not, it is something made and put on later, which it obviously was, but it would stand out to other people as well. And Sprite just walking up very casually. If they were the type, they would put their hands behind their head and just lazily walk up. But Sprite, in a weird turn of like character, their gait as they walk shifts from like, as the moment they hit the threshold of the door and they start walking outward, they start to walk in a more overtly feminine way, like with more hip swing, and they're walking a little bit closer to Marcus, and just kind of not behind him, but letting Marcus be in the front a little bit. And Legacy, you've seen this before.
Oh my god, this bitch.
But they walk up, and as they start to walk up, this whole crew shuffles around and starts to expand their presence in the room. And you can see that there are quite a few of them.
Once Legacy sees that there are more, because Legacy, I imagine, is kind of at the door, like opening and closing the door, still kind of looking out. As soon as Legacy sees that there is more of them than she thought, she opens the door again and starts to push Lockhart out.
Oh on. Kaya's gonna fucking pull her back. It's like, hold on.
Well, you
Just
know,
pointing out, I only see these ones right now, so
there's a
I assume
lot.
there's more over
Look
here.
at
Oh,
the
yeah.
stream. That's what since I'm not at the door, I had to look at the stream to see.
You
What's
can,
going on?
you can, for the sake of being able to see it, you can all like put your tokens right here outside of the door, and I will count it as you poking your head out.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So that's like Lacey starts to like push Lockhart out, and as soon as Kaya's like, hold on, and Legacy just turns to her, well then you go too. And we'll start grab Kaya's arm behind Lockhart and start trying to shove both of them out the door.
All right. Hold on here.
No, you go. There's like 50 of them. Go.
So, like, a look back over the shoulder, Marcus looks back and sees the kind of commotion at the door, and he just does this, like, palms facing the ground, towards the ground. He's just like, just play it. Shush. He doesn't shush, but the gesture is very panicked, like, just chill, please. So he walks up to the one who started shouting initially, and when that dude shouted, the whole room, of course, just all attention turns to this dude. There are people who are in their chairs who are kind of shuffling around and turning to see what's happening, and it is now about to turn into a spectacle, it seems. But Marcus walks up, and immediately the Terabyte dude in the front, who he to Lockhart, when you poke your head out, he looks familiar. This is definitely the dude who had tried to aggress on you before, and his goons with him, and he pulled out a gun, or one of his friends pulled out a gun, and he's the one who actually had that that I can't remember what I called it, the knife, the
charge
shock
knife.
Yep.
That Legacy
I
has.
Just a small note. Lockhart took the IDs and took pictures of the 3 guys that attacked her. So she knows them by name, technically.
Yeah, you would know him by name. But he, like, you look out and you recognize him as that guy, but he looks different, and you can tell that he has gotten some sort of modifications done.
He had to get some reconstruction done on his fucking face.
It's a mix. It's a mix of that. He has a prosthetic or a cybernetic nose, and also some of those digital cyber lines that kind of go off of his nose and spider web out onto his cheeks. And something that Legacy and Kaya, you are both familiar with. It hasn't come up in a noticeable way before, but this is something that does exist in the world, in the setting. There is a phenomenon that happens when people get a cybernetic, and they have to take some form of medication to keep it from getting infected, or like stop inflammation from happening, or otherwise prevent the body from rejecting the cybernetic. And it is called rejection syndrome. And you can see that if it's very similar to getting a tattoo, where if you do not take care of it, it will start to become noticeable and very, very likely become a medical issue. And it's much more common to see rejection syndrome in the first few days after you get a cybernetic. So this dude is sporting very, very new cybernetics, and he is probably like not fresh off the operating table. There's not blood dripping on his face, but it did not happen that long ago. And Kaya, you see, go ahead and actually make me a clever check. with your engineering thrown on there to recall some information about like the cybernetic rejection syndrome and like.
Can I too? Because I have cybernetic specialty.
Yeah, you can. Go for it. I forget that Legacy is a cybernetics person.
Yeah, she is a modder on her own right. She is not a build from scratch, but she's like, I will flick around and find out. But that is 3.
Perfect. So with a 15 and a 13, both of you immediately recognize two things, two different things. Kaya, you look at this and you've seen rejection syndrome before on people who would come to the work site. There were occasional contractual obligations that required workers to either have a specific type of modification or get a specific type of modification. And for some of the workers who did get it, they were not, like, as part of the contract, they don't cover any medicine. They just say, get the modification and come to work. You know, if you don't want to take care of it, that's your responsibility, but you're not allowed to work on this job unless you have X, Y, and Z mods on your body. And there are a lot of people who think that as soon as the metal goes in, everything is working top notch, all good. And that is not the case. You have watched people blow out their arms and seriously damage themselves, and like the cybernetic alone, or damage themselves, let alone the cybernetic, doing some very intense physical activity and labor with cybernetics that were days old. Like when you get an implant, it takes a few days before you are able to really stress test it. And this dude looks like he's right on the verge of having something bad happen. And Legacy, you look at it and you can tell that just at a glance, that shit's infected. That shit is bad infected. He's either gonna have to get that cybernetic implant removed or taken care of, or get more flesh around it taken away, because that whole area is, like, you can see that around part of his nose, the inflammation is so blatantly bad. Even if he had medication to take care of it, it would cause, like, actual deterioration of the skin around the site where it was put in.
Mm-hmm.
And if that, it's on the middle of his face. If the middle of his face mod is that way, it's either he can't afford it, he can't afford the medical care, or this was so very recent and he just had no, like, he's either not been doing it regularly, and because it's so recent, all of the activity he's done has been strenuous. It's like gone from like 0 to 100 way quickly. Like, normally to see an infection like this, it takes a lot of effort to get something bad like this going on. That is definitely a urgent care trip, and like a couple $100 in your pocket that you're gonna lose to deal with this fresh bullshit.
Like, as he just kind of whistles, kind of like very, very quietly. It's like, that man is fucked up, man.
Kaya just like nods, and she's like, "Yeah, that's he's not gonna last long."
Did I do a threat assessment on what type of cybernetics it is? Or what type of
Sure.
document?
Sure.
You know, I probably should have had my search. Okay.
Yes. And I'll give you this one for free, or I'll give you an additional part of this, because like as you poke your head out and start to like squint your eyes to see what's going on, this dude, he brings up his hand. He's wearing, of course, his like biker jacket, kind of chic, his black pants and combat boots that are not laced up. He's got some kind of really, really mucky, dirty tank top underneath, and his head is totally shaved. And he like points a finger, like jabs a finger into Marcus's chest, and he's just like, "I want to know where the fuck that whore in a fucking grey suit is, right fucking now." And with each word he pokes him a little bit harder. Marcus doesn't move, but the dude's finger is like jabbing into Marcus's pec. And you can see on his hands, he also has what appears to be some type of infection. And there are mods in his knuckles and alongside the backs of his palms.
I'm just imagining the three heads stacked on top of each other at the doorway.
He's got some fucked up gorilla arms here, huh?
Something like that. And Lockhart, you look over and it's not gorilla arms because that is actually a different fictitious universe, but whatever. It's effectively those knuckles he has on his hands. Those are very much not meant to be immensely complex, functional cybernetics. They're called grinders. And the grinders are like, you know, the ridged teeth on the inside of a like a set of pliers?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Grinders are, you take that ridged teeth thing and you bore it into your knuckle, each knuckle. So on every knuckle of both hands, he has had these toothy metal things shunted into where his bone is.
To do more damage.
Yeah,
the
it
punch.
is like a permanent weapon installation into your hands. Two things you know about those, Lockhart. One, you lose a lot of dexterity. You don't get as much bend out of your fingers. Two, they will chew people up. They hurt. They work surprisingly well for being literally just heavy chunks of metal shot into your skin. The problem is that no matter how well they are installed, there is an upper limit on how much strain they can take before they have to be replaced. And once you get those knuckles, you have to... There's no going back. You either have to go full synthetic hands to get your flexibility and like back in your fingers, or you just get them removed and buy more knuckles. Like, they are cheap and unrefined, and they are largely the territory of gangs. People who get these are people who plan on attacking human beings.
Okay.
And again, with a threat assessment like that, you can also see that the installation for those is also probably fairly recent.
Now, from all of this, just for the curiosity's sake,
Mm-hmm.
I know that the infection and stuff is probably because of either strain or mistreatment of the new cybernetics. Does it also look like it is because of like kind of hack job installation?
It's a little difficult to tell from this distance if it was a hacky installation, but it would not be a bad guess.
Because
You
that's
could
still a
definitely
concern
see-
for this universe, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
You could, especially knowing that he has grinders. Those are not like something you go to a normal clinic for. That is a back alley doctor. Like, that would be literally someone like Veloska or shady than Veloska, who is willing to like give you this one-way ticket to like permanent weaponry in your system.
Okay. Well, and then another lore question, then, if you don't mind.
No.
So I know Veloska had some spare cybernetics. In this like universe, are most doctors also going to be the ones that would put in the cybernetics, or is it more like you go to a cybernetics person to get your cybernetics, and then doctors just have like emergency pieces that are like considered essential laying around?
There's a lot of bleed over now, especially with how prevalent they are for like full swapping. Like if an organ is too damaged, doctors would know how to implement a cybernetic replacement. Maintenance and high-end cybernetics are more specifically cybernetics surgeons and like ripper docs, for lack of a better term. If we're talking explicitly hospital doctors, they would have basically a bargain bin of limb replacements, and those are only in the situation where a person has lost that limb and they have the insurance for it. The hospital will provide them with a very basic, completely functional, does not do anything special cybernetic. So Veloska had those, very much for the express purpose of like, if a dude, Veloska is a cybernetic surgeon, for the record. He is both trained as a medical doctor and a cybernetics doctor.
Gotcha.
But his like spare parts thing were the ones that you would find in a standard hospital. And the reason being is he won't do any crazy work on someone else's cybernetic if it's broken, or if it's broken beyond repair and needs to be removed. He'll put something else in its place so that the person can like walk or grab things or see.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry for the derailment. I was just curious.
No, it's fine. I am down to answer lore questions whenever. But
Are any of the other two also in this crowd?
Yeah. You can see that one of them is in the crowd. It would be the guy who's standing on his immediate right. I'll mark him with a little green. There's not all three, just these two.
I know it doesn't matter, but which one is the one that is missing?
The one you scared shitless and like crushed his sternum in. Like that guy's gone.
He's an accountant now.
You get the feel like, without really going into whatever happened to Nameless Goon number 3, you could very easily guess that he either fled the gang or was killed in some other incident or whatever, but he is long the fuck gone.
Okay.
Two is here. Goon.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 is MIA.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say is an accountant.
I'm erasing MIA is an accountant now. Change my mind.
So
Lockhart changed his.
You see these guys like start to fan out and spread into the room. There's a lot of them. There is a good number of them, and from what you know about like the station on a local level, there are small gangs kind of spread out within Adams Ward. This seems to be pushing into a larger gang territory. Like Terabyte Boys that seem to have grown their ranks a substantial bit to have this many dudes willing to show up at once and probably start a fight.
So many people down to fight.
Mm-hmm. God. But this dude pointing his finger can't bend perfectly straight all the way, mind you. So he's jabbing like a finger that is kind of partially craned into Marcus's chest. Marcus does not seem very fazed by it, both physically and emotionally. You, Legacy, you're smart enough to know that Marcus is smart enough to have the same sort of thoughts going through his head when he sees that dude's bad inflamed infection around his cybernetics.
He knows
Marcus
all the
is
shit we
probably-
know and more, probably.
Yeah, he's looking at it and his head is going to a completely different place. And as he sees the finger, gets poked in the chest, and Marcus is kind of dumbstruck for a second, and then the sprite kind of shakes his arm a little bit, like in this sort of like, "Hey, say something." And he just goes, what do you want with her?" And the dude just tilts his head. "I want to fucking put her in the ground. Bury her beneath all the shit and piss in the entirety of fucking Adam's world." And as he says that, you can see people in the back row of this ever-growing cloud of dudes. They start to, all of them in different kind of ways, are doing these preparatory aggressive maneuvers where they're like rolling their neck or bringing their hands up or crossing their arms or like reaching up and rolling their shoulders a little bit. Like they're all preparing to throw down, and it does not look particularly good at first. Marcus is his eyes are kind of darting around left to right, counting the number of people, and he's counted way more than 10, and he is not trained to fight 10 people, but he is keeping down his lunch. He seems to be very focused on at the moment. He like shakes his head again and snaps out of it. Just goes, well, you know, I can't let you do that, right? And there's a pause. This dude the dude at the front tilts his head the other direction, and then everyone behind him, you can hear like the slow crowd murmurs of like, "Oh no, I guess we can't do that. Yeah, what are we gonna do?" And it starts to turn into a little bit of laughter, and these guys are fanning out more and more. Not rotating, fanning out. You like looking around the room too. There's also like nervousness amongst some of the people who are just hanging out here. A few of them are awkwardly like not sure where to go because the door is blocked and they don't know if there is a back entrance of any kind. So there's a steady kind of panic in the room, like a panicked energy starting to grow. And the guy up front, the shaved head guy, he just tilts his head, looks at Marcus, and just goes, "I don't give a fuck what you think." And he gets like, you can see him start to gesture to move something, like bring his arms up or move, or he starts to move. And then Sprite chimes in and just goes, "Hey, you know my boyfriend's gonna kick your ass if you try to do anything, right?" And both of those two whip their heads around to Sprite. And then you can hear more people in the back like, "Oh man, boyfriend's gonna get you, boss." It's just like, "Oh, look out. He looks tough." And then the guy in the front, looks back to Marcus. He's like, "Oh, is that right?" And Sprite, looks up at Marcus, and you can see that her posture has now shrunk into damsel in distress mode. And she is, this is so far beyond, this is so far into the realm of, she's so bullshitting right now to you, Legacy. And she hugs her, reaches down and kind of huddles against Marcus's arm, and Marcus does not move. He is just very confused. You can't see his face, but you get this strong impression that he is like just lost. He's like, what is this? I thought she was supposed to be the big tough one. Is this a bit? I don't know what's happening. He just blinks and shakes his head, and the sprite nods emphatically and just goes, "Hey, you keep making fun of him and you see what happens." And then the dude like looks over to Sprite and then raises his eyebrows and then back to Marcus and goes, "Yeah, what's gonna fucking happen?" And he pushes Marcus, like one hand reaching out, and he has to push with the palm, like the base of his palm, because his fingers can't unfold all the way. But he just really one good firm poof. And then Marcus, like, he shrugs back and takes a step back. And he, like, is kind of shocked. And then you can hear more laughter from all of these people around him. And I see Lockhart sneakily
Yes.
trying to creep up.
I do have a question for you, Joe.
Yes.
In theory,
Uh-huh.
why are you guys laughing? Why are you guys? I haven't said anything yet. Why are you guys laughing?
In theory,
In theory, right? They're like really grouped together, right?
yeah.
Right. So in theory, could once things kick off, Kaya yeet a bag of like nuts and bolts, probably wing nuts too, because those are essentially just engineering caltrops
Yeah.
and ball bearings and shit all over here, just to fuck them all up.
Yeah. You can
Pattern
absolutely
area.
throw a gigantic fistful / bag of random engineering
Cyberpunk ball bearings.
bag of cyber
Which
ball
ball-
bearings.
But to be fair, ball bearings do exist in the world here.
Yes,
too,
they do.
So she could just
But
straight up
they're
have ball bearings.
particularly- These ones look way more sci-fi than the ones.
Yeah,
in
they're yeah.
Well, we'll get to the shenanigans. We always get to the
Yeah, we will.
shenanigans in these,
Yeah,
these
yeah.
fights.
However, Joe also, once he's on the train, he doesn't fucking stop, right?
This is true.
This is
So I'm
why
like, while
you
he's
ask.
stopping his own train.
No, this is why you ask in the middle of the fight, because then he's just like, sure.
Here's the thing: this
my
has
God.
to happen before the fight starts for maximum effectiveness.
Are you throwing this now?
No. Like
Oh, okay.
as soon as the first punch is thrown, more like before they can all like, run.
Ready action.
Yeah, like ready action. Start of combat.
So I will ask for clarification.
Mhm.
You want to throw this? You want to throw your bag of debris and detritus?
Yeah.
Do you want to throw it whenever one of them throw the first punch, or whenever anyone punches anybody?
Yes. The
I
answer is
mean,
yes.
if these two in the back punch each other, I don't give a shit. It's more so if something happens to our friends here.
Yeah. But it's more like, like if your friend starts the fight, will you throw it?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's
so
like
if
once the encounter
either
starts,
Marcus or Sprite or one of the goons throws a punch.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And if Kaya needs to move closer, perfectly fine. For her to like, I don't know, move over here in this direction so she can get proper like yeetage.
No, I think you are well
I mean,
within.
she did used to play baseball
chucking.
too, so
Yeah, and you're not throwing
Yeah.
something like super heavy. It's got
Yeah.
enough. It's got just enough weight to it that it's got like some good heft, but it's not
Mhm.
going to be like too difficult to throw.
Yeah.
What I do want clarification on is, what the fuck's Lockhart doing sneaking up?
I don't know.
She's-
She's got a wrench now.
So going with the idea that Abby and I had a bit ago, Lockhart does have the sling on, and she slid a wrench into the sling, hidden weapon,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing that Marcus is getting kind of fucked up, or not fucked up, but like pushed around a bit, and also
He's
Go ahead.
not getting pushed around. It's just fucking Sprite setting him up for some
Yeah.
bullshit is what's about to happen.
Right, setting him up.
Sprite's
It's-
getting ready for the pocket sand moment that they're about to pull
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a Lockhart has seen those augments and doesn't want Marcus to have to deal with that. So it's her own version of concern.
Mm-hmm.
Not that she'd say that out loud or anything. But I mean, she stepped out the door and like just straight up call over. Actually, was walking calmly and calmly and what's the word?
Confidently.
Confident. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
She's walking over and she'll say,
So
"Oh, go ahead."
So before you move anymore, say your piece.
Okay. Didn't I tell you? Please. Oh no, I'll leave. I'll change that. Let me fix that.
Mhm.
Sorry. Do you honestly make a habit of annoying random civilians?
You speak up, and immediately, like, one dude looks over to the guy in red, and is like, "Hey, is that?" And then the other guy looks over, and then both the red and green guy, like, their heads snap over to the voice, and you can see, like, the recognition in their eyes, a mix of fear and rage, as they immediately know who you are. And none of you are privy to this. You cannot see the facial expression, but Marcus turns around. You can see his very obviously. He turns around and is like shocked and surprised, like, "What the? I was in control of the situation," kind of reaction. And you can't see it, but Sprite, while everyone is looking away, just rolls her eyes. And I'm going to need initiative rolls from everyone because a lot of stuff is about to pop the fuck off.
So
How do you roll initiative?
Yep.
I don't think
it
you've
is-
ever rolled initiative.
we did once, I think. But that was a
There's-
long
I think-
time ago.
I'm not sure.
it is a 2d6 plus your quick, and if you have any sort of initiative bonus, which you can actually apply a specialization or a specialty to get a bonus to initiative. And then of course any my god, not feats. What the fuck are they called?
Assets.
Talents,
Talents
Assets.
and assets and
traits,
uh,
all the good shit.
etc. Yeah. Can I? Nice. We're gonna do
To initiative, I don't think. Does that give me
This.
anything?
Sorry. So 2d6 and what?
2d6 plus your any bonuses you have to initiative, and plus quick.
Okay, so just roll a quick check essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we do combat enough for any of us to take in initiative.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's not a
could
bad
be-
thing because Lockhart is the only one geared for combat in any way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
If we're avoiding combat, then we're doing something
Lock-
correct.
Combat is Lockhart.
So now the real question is, do I want to roll good for Marcus now, or do I want to roll good for Marcus when he inevitably throws a punch?
We want to
That's
roll good for
That's
Marcus,
why-
period.
See, that's why Kaya is here, and that's why Kaya would have stepped out the room after Lockhart. So she can help, because she has prep. She's prepared.
Is your prep prepared?
Haha.
Okay, so that's a 9. That's an 11. That's a 4. Nope, 4.
Oh, Marcus,
Marcus,
baby.
He is very surprised, and he is very much like Baymax. I am not fast.
Aw.
You should just set. Yeah, fuck, I'm gonna be real here with this. I think for like, and it's a preference I have across tabletops. Larry is essentially Kaya's summon.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
that's
on
a good point.
initiative?
Larry should share initiative with Kaya.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, I didn't realize he had his own initiative.
How do I?
I prefer in any and all tabletops, if you have a summon or a companion creature, just attach it to your fucking turn and move on, rather than having to go at different times.
Yeah.
Yes, but Larry does get actions and a turn entirely. Like he has his own action economy with you,
Mhm.
Kaya. Just so you know.
Okay. Just to
And
remind myself, this is essentially like, hey, just try to do a thing.
So-
Combat?
I have to make it a little bit easier. I'm kind of stealing from parts of Pathfinder and other games, but you can essentially try two things. Any turn, you get two distinct things you can do. It typically is moving and one other thing. But that's it. It can be as complicated or as simple as a thing as you like. If you think it is incredibly complicated, or if I think it is incredibly complicated, then I'll say that we'll use your whole turn. But yeah, you get two things you can do.
Or multiple turns, a la EMP grenades out of cell phones and fucking bombs.
Thermite.
Hmm.
So I'm going to. These two get individual turns, and we're going to have.
Calamity has a turn.
Yeah, Calamity is gonna. She is actually going to be first for the purposes of. Well, no, she won't be. Never mind. Because the Sprite is going to absolutely do this way before she does.
Oh,
But she's
boy.
up there. That is. What? Oh, look at that! Lots of 8s.
That's great.
Right. Oh. Oh shit! That's funny as fuck.
Did they get a 2?
They either got a 2 or they got a 12. No in between.
Yeah, there's no in between.
They got a 2.
They got a 2! Let's go!
Main guy got a 4. Secondary guy got a 2. So you say that, Lockhart, and as you say that, all heads immediately turn to you, and there is like a notable, wait, she's right there, and all of the pretense dies. None of you see this, but Sprite rolls her eyes, and in like half an instant, you can't see her face, Lockhart, but you see with a startling amount of speed, Sprite, who is like kind of scrunched up, hiding behind Marcus. She whips out a very small, very like nondescript pocket knife, and she'll
Oh, shit.
spin it around and unsheath it, and just stab it into this dude's thigh.
Go off!
See?
And immediately, like, the tension on the room just skyrockets. The dude, like, there is a flinch, and you see that happen. Several other guys see that happen, and it turns into like, wait, what? And the guy looks down and just goes, fuck! And then Sprite will lean back and give him a little wink, and is going to slip behind Marcus and go over here. And that's going to be her turn, as she's going to very quickly stab him and get away.
Alright. Do I get the yeetage?
Yes, your action pops off,
Ooh.
so you can throw your bag of ball bearings, your bag of slippery metal things.
Mm-hmm. Aiming for the cluster.
Aim for a head in the cluster, so you can get
Aim for a head in the cluster.
you get some damage on top of it. That a quick check?
Yes, that will be a quick check, but you can add your engineering to it.
Yeet. And do I use a prep?
I mean, if you got them, use them.
It's true. I do got him. And I really want to make sure that this pops off. Quick question before I roll.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Never mind. Yeet.
That's pretty good. So where are you trying to hit?
She's trying to cover as much area as possible and slow down essentially all of like these peeps. My pings are really slow for some reason.
That's fine. So
You have
you're
hardware
trying-
acceleration. That's
I
right.
need to.
I have
Aim
it
for,
on or
aim for
off?
this one. That one.
So you're trying to get like in here.
Wait, which one did you say, Z?
The one that he is on.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to get in that area there. That essentially where you're highlighting. I forgot about the fucking measuring tool. That would have been so much easier. Yeah, I'm trying to get like these fucks
Mm-hmm.
so that they can't move forward or they slip on their ass. Because there's a lot of people.
And there's more outside that would be piling through the door to...
Yep.
Okay. So if you're throwing your bag of goodies,
Mhm.
11, and how far is that? That's a pretty
I
good
can move-
ways. But you can. I'll say that you can move towards it. This is basically using your turn before your turn.
Okay.
So you can move like probably halfway there, maybe a little bit past where Lockhart is, and get like a running start.
Yeet.
And from there, you're going here-ish.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
like where the center of it is.
Mm-hmm. So with an 11, roll me 1d8.
Oh boy. 8.
Okay,
That's either
so-
good or bad.
Is that good or bad?
Well, it could be. Hold on, let me see how tough this guy is. Because you threw it and hit.
Going for smash on the ground.
Well, you smashed this dude in the face.
Hey,
I didn't think you were actually gonna let me do that. Holy shit!
The dice do not lie. So you describe to me how you throw it.
Imagine, like, right after she handed Lockhart the wrench, is when she started going through her bag and starting, like, filling up. A little. Honestly, she probably sacrificed her fucking whiskey glass. So imagine she took the fucking last little drops. Fucking alright. Gets all her fucking ball bearings and wing nuts and bolts and all the fucking slippery little metal bits. Dumps it into the glass. Probably gets like something sheer to just like hold the cover of it over so that it can be thrown. And it's sort of ball shaped, right? And she is going to just alright, running start. And then she gets to the end of where she ran on like a heel, just fucking pitchers stands and just fucking yeets this glass full of nuts and bolts and ball bearings right at this guy's face.
Perfect. So you rear back and pitch this glass. It soars through the air, like it does not spin much at all. You have thrown this so that the actual spin of it won't just rain metal everywhere, and it soars through the air. Somehow misses a few people by the somehow you threw it in an arc, so it goes up, sails over a few of the guys who are like, hey, and then one dude turns and is like square in the side of the cheek. The glass hits him. It doesn't break, but it spills everywhere onto him and then onto the ground around him. And boy, do you absolutely you hear this really, really heavy crack as it hits the side of his face. It is gonna leave a big fucking mark.
All right, the broken glass because it falls on the floor. Extra.
Hell yeah.
That's
So
just
yeah,
extra.
It doesn't break on his face. It breaks on the floor, and we're gonna go right about here. Get a scatter of bullshit. Awesome. So that's your prep turn.
Mhm.
I don't think anyone else had a prep turn unless I'm wrong.
No.
Nope.
Then Legacy, you're up. Shit is popping off.
Yeah, shit is popping off, however, these are humans, and Legacy has nothing that she can do with people. So, I guess... So, the behind the bar, is it just, glass bottles, or is there, kitchen shit behind the bar like it kind of looks?
There's kitchen shit behind the bar. There's a mix. There's a mix of kitchen shit and glassware and bottles.
I guess she's going up and over the counter behind the bar.
You quickly run, tuck and roll over top. You are quick enough that you don't have to roll for it. It's very easy for you to do the two-hand leap, so you just vault over it
Tongue
and
vault.
then come to and then you come to a very quick rolling stop on the other side of the bar. As you land and look around, roll me a clever check. Just a straight clever check.
I'm just gonna go ahead and boost this because I have it
Mhm.
and I don't want it to roll low.
So you look behind the bar. There's a couple things you notice. Aside from the glassware and the bottles, there's also crates and there's knives and forks, plastic and metal ones, of course. You also notice that there is a modem and temperature and thermostat control for the area in here. And you also notice a gun. There is a gun probably 3 or 4 steps away from where you are, close to the bartender whose name is B, or who is called B, I should say. But there is what looks to be almost antique retro style pump action shotgun that is hung up underneath the bar.
See, that's really cool. But Legacy doesn't know how to shoot shit.
You can figure
It's
it out.
fun. It's fun though.
For now, because she's not going to instinctively go for a gun, because she does not do that. She is not cosmic.
He's gonna be so sad we're in a bar fight without him.
Right?
He is.
There's gotta be some, cans of, pineapple juice and shit. This is a bar.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's peaches, pineapples, other sorts of canned fruit.
Giant jar of olives.
So she's gonna go for a metal can of something and yeet it.
Go for it. Roll me a quick. If you don't have proficiency in can throwing or something, you could have a +1 generic specialty in specifically can throwing.
Cans. Yeah, it has to be a can.
I can add that to my sheet real fast.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's amazing. Yes.
It is a thematic choice for Legacy.
I said I was gonna fucking boost it, and then I didn't boost it, so I'm gonna boost this one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's good.
We're just going
so
for this
you-
closest one because that's the one she's going to be able to hit the easiest.
So you vault over the table here and roll to a stop, and you like spy a handful of like various things you can throw, and just start raining chaos down onto people. You spy the gun, and immediately like your eyes open a little bit wider. You look up to B, and B just shakes his head very stern once, goes don't. And you go for the pineapple can, grab it, and like barely missing a beat, you stand up, spin, and chuck it at this dude on the far side here. That can is gonna hit him really fucking hard. I'm gonna mark him here. So you bean this dude with a can of peaches or can of pineapple, and like Kaya, if you didn't know better, you'd think Legacy would probably make a good pitcher too.
Hey,
Specifically, if she could throw only cans instead of baseballs.
I don't feel like she can't throw anything else except cans.
She throws that with just a startling amount of force as it hits this dude's face, and like his head snaps backward from the force, and he's full body stumbles. He does like the arms go forward and the head goes back thing, and there is a loud like tong as it bounces on his face.
And she crouches back down behind the bar.
Honestly,
Awesome.
Looking for another
solidarity.
can.
The roommates immediately throw a drink aligned thing at one of the goons' heads.
All right, so Kaya, you have already thrown and moved for your turn. So we're
Larry?
going straight down to Lockhart. Oh, that's right, Larry. But what do you,
Oh, yeah.
do you want Larry to do anything?
What would Larry do?
Larry is, for the record, he is going to be slightly behind you because he would have followed you out here. He'll be like right here.
Let me see. All right.
Pick up and drop.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, in theory, can swarm, can't pick up and drop.
If you swarm, you won't be able to pick up anything incredibly heavy.
No, but
But you
just,
can
just
swarm.
harass them.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need to hurt them. He just needs to inconvenience them. Do you understand?
Yeah, no, yeah, I
Okay.
totally understand.
So you just go swarm mode and pick up a whole bunch of glasses, fly it to the ceiling, and drop it on their head.
Yeah, just random shit.
Mm-hmm. So you give Larry, like, tell Larry to grab some glasses and just start harassing them.
So also with the directive of don't get within arm's reach. Stay above them. But just with Larry is on harass mode.
Okay, good to know.
Okay.
So Larry is going to, and you said swarm mode, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to do
10 Larrys.
this. And going. Save. So Larry, like, does a little salute, just goes
Mhm.
and gets a very like stern look on his face, and salutes, nods with his whole body, and will zip over here. And as he is flying over there, the mini Larrys start to drop out of the back of the other Larry, and it turns into the swarm. So
Yeah.
Legacy, you hear like the approach of one Larry, and as he is flying, he's like hup 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 hup, and then you hear the reverberating like hup 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 as they are like fly marching, and they fly up and over the counter and dip
Can they
beside
take-
you.
Can I don't know how bars work. However, like they take your empty beer bottles back. Is there like a garbage can of empty beer bottles that they can take?
Yeah. There's a recycling can just
Yeah,
that's full of bottles.
yeah, just that. So we're not breaking actual glass cups because Kyrie broke one.
Sure. Like panic last minute, just like actually grab these.
Yeah.
Does an aerial maneuver, like banks wide, it circles back around, goes to the trash can or the recycling bin, and starts grabbing cans and bottles, not cans, bottles out of the recycling bin.
It's like a fucking airdrop of solution.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You're just gonna have bottles falling on these guys from above as we're fighting.
Just
It's
kind
like
of the table, random bullshit.
Yeah, but Larry has armed themselves, all of them, with bottles. Lockhart. Shit has started to go sideways.
I have a question for you, Joe, if you'd be willing to do this.
Uh-huh.
So, I have martial arts, which means I can hit anyone in melee distance when I hit someone.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of that, could I make a line if I shoulder bash someone? And just use the two people behind him? Because my idea is basically run and hit this guy and domino into these two.
Sure. I think that works. I think you could make a case like you could shoulder bash someone and domino effect into more people.
Instead of hitting these guys essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
There's a few things that I want to know. What guys are you aiming for?
This one right here.
Uh-huh.
And then the line.
And then in the line behind.
Gotcha. So you're going this way.
I'm trying to get as many people out in one go, essentially. Is kind of the goal.
So, you want Lockhart to be here, but then hit this guy and have him go into all these guys.
Yeah, she's gonna run shoulder bash, right, like this. Because it's a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah. That's kind of the idea.
They're all in the Chaos Bolt aura.
Is that
Okay.
acceptable?
That is perfectly acceptable. What I'll say is, how I will rule it is, you will take his spot of the guy you tackle, and then
That's fine.
it will work so that the guy who's tackled will take the next guy's spot, and then the next guy's spot, and then the last guy will get yeeted backwards.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll me your tough check.
I am going to pop a prep for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Just to leave a good impression,
Yes, I will say that because you are shoulder checking him, you won't get the benefit of the hard knucks, but you will be able to count it as like an unarmed, like just regular melee strike.
Yeah. Using the what was it? I can't remember what it's called. It's a Z. The Bajik one shoulder bash essentially. So but yeah, okay.
Yeah. Perfect. So you in one fell swoop rush forward, and you already your one shoulder still is in a bad way. So you're working around that, and the only way to work around a bad shoulder is to use the other shoulder, and
Exactly.
also the back, and also your legs, and the rest of your body. So you charge full tilt. This is the first time you've really busted out into a sprint to hit someone. It is very liberating to have all of that kinetic energy build up. You step, run across the room, and then you just come to a screeching halt as you skid into place and turn with your shoulder, go into that Baji Kwan lean, and you hear this poof as the dude who you hit is thrown into the next guy, into the next guy, into the next guy, and you have shoulder checked probably 600 pounds of men, 600 pounds worth of men, like steamrolling them one after another into this like pile. And this guy will be knocked down.
And they all take the damage that
Yes.
the first guy took, so.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yep.
So this guy, so you go and hit that guy. When you shoulder check the first dude, he goes up to like throw an arm to block it, and when you hit him, his right arm goes backward. Like you hit him really hard, and his elbow goes flying and cracks the dude behind him in the side of the temple. So that dude's out.
Yes.
And you literally slide to a stop because you are in this like debris field of broken glass and other shit. But I'll say because you shoulder checked and stopped and didn't actually move through that area, you don't have to make any sort of rolls for moving yet.
Environmental, I don't suffer any disadvantages from environmental stuff because bare hands fighting.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
So now,
Used to this shit.
hell yeah. I don't know what all things you are capable of because we don't fight enough, but I aim to fix that. Hold on.
Oh boy.
Where is-
That is why I'm reminding you.
Perfect. So
Wait, what's happening?
you shoulder check that guy and make dominoes out of men. While that is all happening, Calamity, like, she, right as everything started to build up and tension was high, the clever viewer would have noticed she ran off to the side to a shelf and grabbed a box and grabbed something and is now running back out. And she has in her hands a guitar, a keyboard guitar. It is both threaded with strings and has a keyboard on the bottom edge of it. It is quite large in her hands. And you can see it is loaded up with stickers and like other sorts of not graffiti, but just it gives the vibe of like absolute punk energy. There's several stickers that all are just like that speak to you in various ways. Some of them are LGBTQ friendly, others that say something akin to "this machine kills fascists." And she has this at her hip, and she is running up, and she will leap onto the counter and move over here. And she reaches over, grabs the cable from the guitar, and plugs it into the side of her neck. And she'll, like, tap the side of her throat, almost like she's checking a mic. And then she'll shout at the top of her lungs, like, she looks over the crowd and sees everything starting to pop off, and she just goes... And then you hear the steady, like, blast of guitar music as she starts just absolutely shredding up and down on this keyboard and guitar. The whole room is just erupting with music now. That's her whole turn.
She's the fucking soundtrack for this fight.
Absolutely.
I love
Here-
her.
And with that, the primary gang member guy, he is going to go. And his leg is stabbed. He's not in a good way. Go ahead and mark. I want 1. There we go. So he, like, looks back up and sees, like, looks where you were, Lockhart, and then turns and sees that you've barreled into a bunch of dudes that he had behind him. And he is going to turn heel and try to attack you.
Mhm.
So let's see if he can. What is your tough defense?
It needs a 13.
13?
13, yeah.
Okay, so he does beat your tough defense, and he will deal 1 wound of damage to you that ignores armor.
Oh.
Fucking grinders, man.
So he sees you having shoulder checked those dudes, and in your stance, you like start to right yourself, and you feel this really coarse, intense pain and a bludgeoning force hit you in the arm and snap your head all the way back. He punches you like towards the upper part of your shoulder, trying to get to your face, and like you can see this dude is rage incarnate. Go ahead and make me a threat assessment check for free, since you are like face to face with this dude now.
Okay.
Nice. So that like punch with the grinders, that really hurt. You get the feeling that like through the course of this fight, if you don't knock him out, he is going to end up like already torn to shreds, because this sort of strain on his body with those grinders, it's not looking good. His fingers are not in a good spot right now. That is a notable weak point. But he is going to attack you again, and he'll deal 1 more wound's worth of damage.
Oh no.
He's swinging as hard as he possibly can. And you're brunting the blows very well. Able to like block with your good arm as best you can. And that's his entire turn. But as he like you can see him starting to go into this like blind rage of like, I am feral and I'm attacking this person who I hate. He cocks back another arm to throw a punch, and Marcus is going to step in. And we're gonna hope something good happens. He's going to use
Give him a
his
prep.
one.
Give him a prep.
He has 1 prep. He has 1 prep, and he's going to use it to boost this. Money, fucking money. So
No.
I will tell you, his coiling snake, the mod, when he rolls double 5s or higher on the dice, he gets to attack again for free.
Let's go.
So he like immediately catches the dude's arm and pulls the dude, spinning him back to face him. And like, this is perfect form. He has gone completely into fight mode. His vision is like honed in on this dude. Lockhart, you've taught him to fight one-on-one, and so he is going to fight this guy who is in front of him, who is talking shit about you and threatening you, his teacher. So he spins the dude around by the elbow, and then when he stops and like sees him again and is like, wait, what's happening? He shifts into a kickboxing stance and cocks back one hand and will fire off 2 punches like way quick, lightning fast. You hear the clicking and clattering of something in his arms, as when he fully extends his arms, you hear like an air pressure pop, and then his arm snaps all the way back to the ready position. And he is going to deal. Let's roll the second hit. Bruh. Oh no, that's a 4. I thought he rolled double 5s again. I didn't put a cap on that. I might need to, depending on how lucky Marcus gets in fights.
Considering his luck thus
Yeah.
far, don't put a cap on it.
Put a cap on it and let him pop
It-
off, right?
It's his training. He deserves it. He's come so
so-
far.
Exactly. He has been elevated from PC, forcibly is made a DM PC. Let him pop off.
So the question for this though, if we have like allies in a fight, Can we say that we like give them the group prep or like sacrifice our prep for them so that they can get prep? Or
I
is
will
that
say
still
that
only amongst the 3 PCs?
I will say that for group prep, if you all agree, you can let a NPC of your choice use the group prep. As for personal prep, I will say the only one who can donate prep would be Kaya, I think.
Okay.
But Kaya, you can donate to NPCs if you want.
That'd be nice. Thank
Yeah.
you.
That's totally fair game. For group prep or Kaya's personal prep. But you all have to agree.
I agree.
So,
Sounds good to me.
I have
Yeah.
added one more group prep, so now we have 2.
hey,
I'll mark that
So-
on my sheet.
I just figured because all of us tend to have extra prep at the end of a session
true.
that like if we have other PCs that are not PCs but NPCs that we are actively trying to aid,
Hmm.
it might be nice for them to get the benefit of prep on occasion.
Totally
Yeah.
fair. And there might be circumstances in which I will let in the future, like maybe you can use personal prep for an NPC if you really like them, maybe. But for now, Marcus fires off his 2-for-1 punches, and he's going to use his second action to attack again. Yo! That's really lucky. That's not double fives, but it's a 5 and a 6.
You said
So
5
in
right? Oh,
yeah,
no,
I
no.
said double fives. I said double fives are higher. So 5-5 or 5-6 or 6-6 on the dice.
Let's go.
So
Hey.
he
Go.
like
Come on.
is surprisingly quick. Like even surprising to you, Lockhart. This is what happens when both training and tools work together. Where training on its own is a huge benefit, and tools can help someone where they'd lacked certain things before. And Marcus right now is the true hybrid of a good amount of training and the proper tools. As he shifts into this boxer stance, and in the span of barely over a second and a half, he fires off 4 punches directly into this dude's like upper torso and face, and it is like boom, 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 and then his hands are right back up to guard too. Like it is fast, and the dude's whole body is like rocked, and you can see that his nose and all of that infection is starting to leak, both a mix of blood and also infection pus. It is a bad sight. This dude is already looking rough from how he looked rough walking in, undamaged, and Marcus just like piled some punches onto him.
Damn.
And now it's going to be gang member number 2, and then the goon squad. So, gang member... Well, I probably should have put some gang members on main guy's turn. That's fine. This guy is going to go after... Oh, I need to... Hold on, I need to fix this dude's wounds. There we go. So, second in command is going to try and go after Sprite. He's going to try to grab Sprite.
Oh
and-
god, that's a mistake.
That is not nearly high enough to grapple her, but he will, in a unusual like turn of events, he reaches forward and Lockhart, you can see that his form is sloppy. He's just like reaching out his hands and grabbing for purchase on clothing. You can tell that Sprite lets him have it. She lets him grab the edges of her jacket, and he pulls her close, and you can hear him say something kind of gross and scummy underneath his breath, and he is going to let go of one arm and then try to throw a punch at her point blank. And he's going to roll with disadvantage. Yes, that is about what I expected. So he pulls Sprite real close, and Sprite is now much more herself than she was before, where she is completely at ease in this situation. And he throws a punch, and she just like bends backward and slips the punch. It just goes totally wide. And now it's going to turn into a fucking fight. So we're gonna have dudes running up all over. I'm gonna say this guy's gonna go up and over here. This dude is gonna use. He's gonna run over here to try and get to you, Kaya.
Ah, I was tapped out. I'm listening. Hello.
There's a
Hi.
few guys who are going to do their damnedest to run over to you using, like, basically using their whole turn to run up to you.
Okay, cool. Kaya's not a fighter. We'll see how this goes. And by that I mean we'll see what bullshit I can pull out.
Well, don't worry, Legacy's gonna try and peg a couple of them for you.
Thank you. All the fighters are over here in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I might have to attack soon, what is damage?
So everyone has 6 wounds.
Mm-hmm.
When when I roll above your defense,
Mm-hmm.
you will take 1 wound. If I roll 3 higher than your defense, you will take an additional wound, and it goes
Okay,
on repeat like that.
cool, okay. So attacking, what is the damage for? Is it just same like rolling? Okay, so it's rolling above the same thing,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Same thing for an enemy. So you roll
Gotcha.
above whatever defense their defense is, and if you roll
Okay.
at or above it, you deal damage.
That's why I've
Um,
always been confused. Like, how the fuck do you do damage? I understand now. Okay, this entire time I've
want-
never had to do that.
You want good rolls. That's what you want.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It is a confusing system that we make it work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of these guys are spending their entire turn just hustling inside of the doors.
Unfortunately, you can't have 5 people in the space of 1 person to all attack. They have to
Yeah,
wait for their
they're-
buddies to go down.
They are
slowed down
like,
at all by this?
yes, they are. They are. I was going to roll for everyone who had to pass through it,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't feel good about their chances because even if they fail, I'll say that they are grossly slowed down or fall completely, depending on how badly they fail.
Fuck them. There's broken glass.
He's
Fuck
just
you.
having to take his time to adjust where
Oh.
everybody's going at the moment.
Yeah.
Before handling that.
So that guy succeeds. Let's do this one. What was your roll for this? It was 11? I'm going to use that as the defense. Which means this guy
I don't know.
fails.
Get fucked.
So I'll say that he actually, yeah, he cannot move very far. He did not fall down though. This guy did. So Lockhart, this dude like runs up on you, ready to square up, and just eats hard shit. He failed badly enough that it'll deal damage because there is like you said broken glass all over the floor.
Let's
so this
go.
dude runs up, he like you see his foot just completely go out from under him. He goes ass over tea kettle onto the ground and lands flat on his hands and face, and you can hear him go like ah, like scream as bits of glass are just poking and prodding and piercing all over his bare hands and face. And some of these guys do have cybernetics. Various cybernetics all kind of scattered around on different parts of them in different areas. But this dude's face is still mostly face, which is unfortunate for him. That's 1, 2, 3. This is 4. That guy will barely fail, so he's like dancing around. Let me do this. I will make dance marks, because they gotta have a little. Oh, there's a snail. Perfect. Snail, snail, and then big success. So all these guys are scattered around here, and they are gonna rain hell down onto you, Lockhart. Or at least they're gonna try. You have a wounded man, a guy who's slipping and sliding all over the place, and then 2 other guys who are throwing punches at you. That's really bad. Do you have a thing that happens if somebody misses poorly? Because he rolled 3.
I don't.
At least
Same,
one
but-
version of Lockhart had something.
Yeah, I don't have reversal. Damn.
Gotcha. Okay. That's his turn. That's a pretty good hit. And your defense is
13.
13. That barely misses. That's really sad for him. So he rolled a 12. So he swings, and they're getting better. These guys they're stepping their game up, but unfortunately they're not nearly as good as you are. And with all of that, they continue to prove it as, like, despite being surrounded on all sides, you see like every move coming. This is just you've been wounded, you've fought robots, you've encountered a like cybernetic terror creature, and you've been fighting uphill battles basically this whole way. And the one time you saw a couple of these guys in the street, they did bring weapons. And some of these guys do have weapons. Some of them are packing the grinders and other cybernetics on their hands and fists, or hands and feet. Others of them have like what appear to be some type of cudgel or pipe. And you're just so tired from having to fight uphill battles this whole time that fighting amongst a bunch of dudes with blunt instruments is like a nice jog from being a sprinter. From having to run at a dead sprint most of the time, you are now able to have a nice jog, where you still have to try, but not as hard.
It's nice being able to more easily predict things
Yes.
without having to overthink it.
And these guys are incredibly predictable. And like, if you've ever seen the gif of, I think, it's not Smokin' Joe Frazier, I can't remember who it is, but it's Muhammad Ali doing the like dips from punches. There's just 4 or 5 dudes who are surrounding you, like swinging different, like one comes in with the pipe and swings real high, and you just like lean back. Another dude comes in with a punch and goes for the gut, and you step to the side and push the hand out of the way, and it is just like poetry in motion, watching Lockhart just very carefully find the overlooked areas where it's like, no, if I just go here, then that doesn't work. And if I do this, then that attack doesn't work. And if I do this, then that attack doesn't work. Marcus and Sprite, on the other hand, are having to throw down pretty hard. Marcus is... We're going to see if he gets hit at all. Ouch. That is a bad one. So, Lockhart, you're up close and like watching this transpire as like all of these dudes are running up and around and surrounding you guys. Marcus rained hell on the boss, but as he was raining hell and he has his guard up, he sees a few people out of the corner of his eye, and he starts to turn around to block one, and as he is focusing on one, the other rears around and clubs him in the back of the head. And you can see the blow just rock his entire world. He's like, this is the first time he has gotten hit by someone well, at least in
Someone
not,
actually trying to hurt him.
yeah, someone actually trying to hurt him and put him down. Like, he has gotten punched before, but this is way more than just a punch. This is violence being enacted on him. But he's still up. He is still vertical. Sprite. We're going to see how Sprite fares. She is very tough. So she's kind of been a little bit too lax during this moment. So as she toys with this like green, like not commander, but this guy, they're dipping and diving and moving out of the way of his punches. And then as the other goons start to come in and around and try to surround them, Sprite is looking left and right and starting to get a little nervous. And then one punch comes out from behind and catches them in the side of the cheek. And it's not a very, very heavy blow, but it does, like, that snaps Sprite into it. And then all of the playtime is now done, and they are now trying to be, they'll have fun by trying hard now, rather than just toying with them. And the rest of these guys moved. So now it's going to be Speak of the Devil. Sprite is going to take the dude who grappled her and has still one hand on their jacket, and Sprite's going to grab it. Up. So you watch as Sprite, the dude's hand gripping the collar of their jacket, they take their hand and like grab they push the backside of the palm against their jacket, and Sprite jumps and pitches forward, and you hear the wrist pop completely out of socket. Like you can hear it from across the room as like Sprite grabs his wrist and jumps and pitches forward, and then the hand just and snaps. And the dude just goes pale, like does not scream. The shock hit him way faster than the scream could, and his face is like ghost white. And Sprite is going to continue with that. This is fucking brutal. Sprite rolls real good.
Sprite is meant to be just a dirty, down in the ditches fucking fighter.
So Sprite just shattered this dude's wrist into a million pieces. His hand is bent way too far backward, and it's not a pretty thing to look at. And while he is like reeling from the wrist, Sprite lets go of his arm, and he just kind of cradles his backward bent wrist and is not sure what to do. You can see like too much damage has been sustained, and now he has to figure out like what year it is. All of that time spent looking cool is now out of the window because way too much happened, and now he's like, why am I here? While Sprite is going to follow up with that, and Sprite will slip underneath this person behind her, and while they are dipping underneath between the legs of this person, they're going to grab the hem of the pant and yank. And this person is going all the way down. You see, like, Sprite as they break the dude's wrist, and everyone's like, even people who are not that guy see that happen and see him go ghost white, and there is a moment of hesitation because that is a rough one. And Sprite takes that moment of hesitation to slip out in this very only Sprite could really get away with this kind of bullshit, as they slip between the dude's legs, grab the pant leg of this dude as they're sliding between between his legs, yanks, and like cartoonishly fast, he just and then you hear a crack as his face hits the concrete floor, just the tile metal flooring, and there is a just really really nasty crack splat noise as his face goes down. That's Sprite's turn, and now it's going to be Gang Dude, who is gone from like relatively fine in a matter of speaking to very very rough,
Whoa,
very very
whoa, whoa.
quickly. Did I miss someone?
Number 1, that is a 5. How is he up
Wait,
there?
why is he up here?
And
What
then
the
number
fuck?
2, that's the dude that's over at the table. That's not even any of them that's in the fucking crowd.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's weird. Why is he on here? Stop it.
It's
What the shit?
like, why is their gang stuff going again so fast? I know they rolled like shit.
Yes, but that was all of Sprite's turn, which means Legacy is canon time.
Hopefully.
I think they need help over there, actually. There's a lot of them.
Well, I said I was going to, so Legacy is going to try and peg the one that's already been injured that was heading, because that's the first thing that she would see. Is like pop up 2 cans, 1 in each fucking fist. Try to peg this one first. So we'll do that. I'm just gonna keep using fucking prep because I don't want to miss with throwing shit right now.
Mm-hmm. That is more than enough to hit. You said you wanted to hit the one that's already injured?
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll again and the lower one go to that one?
Yes, you can. You can like pop up above the counter with 2 cans. Holy shit!
Okay, the
So
first
Kaya-
one goes to that guy.
Yeah, so Kaya, these 2 dudes who are like sprinting up to you. One of them is like sporting a really really bright reddish, starting to turn purple bruise from when you beamed him with the glass. And as they get up close to you and it's starting to look really scary, just out of nowhere 2 pineapple cans soar across the room, and you hear the most satisfying like tong as it smacks against one dude
And
right in the cybernetic of the head.
Well, the other
And then-
one is going to a different direction.
Yeah.
Oh, the other one's going a different direction?
Yeah. First
Where's
one,
it going?
First one hits that dude, and then she sees the guy that fucking beans Marcus in the back of the head, and you just hear, "You motherfucker!" And that's the 20 gets that one in the back of the head.
But like,
Don't touch her people!
yeah, so that dude who was like beamed by the glass, a pineapple can just about crashes into that dude's head and hits the dude across from him, and just cold cock knocks him out. Because like the can and the weight and speed it was going, it hits the dude in the head and pushes his head into a like piping fixture on the wall, and it is like a gong followed by a tonk, and then the dude slumps to the ground and just like blood coming out of both sides of his face and his nose. The dude who like ate the can in the face is like shocked and afraid, and then you see Legacy standing up like from behind the counter as Larry starts to patrol overhead with glass bottles, being a dude way across the other side of the room with an equally sized pineapple can. This dude did not even see the can coming. It hit him right in the sweet spot, like right where the neck, right where the base of the skull meets the neck, and it's like conjoins with the spine. It hits right there, and that like it's like a lights out button, because like the dude's head, like his head goes forward, but his body stays in place, and he just kind of goes rigid, like kind of woozy for a second, and then just collapses to the ground, like knees buckle, and he just falls. You can see Marcus he's got a wound, but he's looking okay.
Just
He's just gives you a thumbs up.
string of fucking curses. She's not even dipping down behind the counter at the moment. She's just cursing these guys out.
She's
right now.
reloading.
So that's Legacy's turn. Sprite, hearing that, is like shredding on the guitar, and she'll look down at Legacy and like nod for her to get more cans and set them up on the counter. Just start unloading, like putting stuff on the counter, because she wants to keep playing, but she wants to contribute. So she is going to kick stuff at people.
Yes. Oh, takes the guitar and just fucking engulfs it into the fucking mob.
Legacy will help put fucking like jars and cans of shit.
Yeah. So you like reach down below the counter, just grab a fistful or like 2 armfuls of cans and set them up on the counter. And once you do that, Sprite, you can see she's very deft with her feet. She reaches over, despite having like big, like basically combat shoes / Doc Martens on. She like toes a can out into place, sets it up, and then she like looks out to the crowd, takes a step back, and kind of like hops up, and with the hopping maneuver, she'll hop over and kick the can, like football punt it, and she is going to punt it at one of these guys on the outskirts of where Lockhart is. This guy. And that's pretty good. So she hops back and kicks it, and it, like, with surprising accuracy, that can flies over and it hits the dude like in the side of the throat, and you can see him like reel from it. He's just like, he's not down, but it hit him just in a real like not good place to crash a can into. And as she does, as the can hits and collides, she just shreds more on the guitar. Sorry. Lockhart, you see cans flying and other shit flying, and it is just it is weirdly like a food fight.
Things, random cans and bottles and shit are just coming out of fucking nowhere.
They're doing some work though. They're doing some work.
They're doing amazing.
Well, that's a thing.
You can mention the glass crunching under her feet when she turns to the left.
Well, seeing the chaos go around her, she's taking note of it, but there are people around her that need to go down.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get a good hit in. Well, I'm going to try for this one's off balance, right?
The ones with the slugs are.
Those are staying.
Oh, this one's dead. Okay. Or
No,
dead.
he's
Injured.
if they've been injured, they have a skull and bones. If they're dead, they're red X'd.
Okay.
And then
Perfect.
the little snails next to on these guys down here, they are struggling to stand up. And then this guy is sideways.
He's the one that
perfect.
fell to the floor and smashed his face into the glass.
Yeah.
I gotta mark that.
So we'll go for the injured one here,
Mm-hmm.
since everyone else around him seems to be having issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I will boost that as well. And this is with Knuckles.
Mm-hmm. And your thing allows you to attack multiple people in reach.
Yep, you may target everyone in melee range. So I
5
assume
people.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and
Six.
red, the
And
red
red.
guy, yeah.
Yeah. So being surrounded, how do you imagine Lockhart does this? Because one arm in a sling.
Yeah. So how I kind of imagined it is she punched him and I imagine she punched him to get him off balance.
Wait,
and then
pause.
use
You have a wrench.
Huh.
You do have a wrench. Kaya gave you a wrench.
that is true. Fine. Just swing the wrench across.
Tonk, 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 tonk.
I mean, basically.
Okay.
Don't break the wrench.
No, break
No
the
promises.
wrench. Fucking
No
Legacy will
promises.
just like pull one out of front under her bed and replace it for you.
She's had that wrench for a long time. It's a good wrench.
Okay, but Velocia had a wrench too, and we know what happened to that.
Okay. And for your hit everyone in melee range thing, you only have to roll once, isn't that right?
Correct.
So 18
Okay.
against all of them.
Yes.
Mhm.
So you, like, assessing quickly, you see that there's a few people who are kind of scattered of trying to assess. There's a few people who are slipping and sliding around. You spin around with the wrench and do a, like, dragging a stick along a fence line maneuver of just spin and, like, bang. And then bang. This dude gets cold cocked. This dude's on the ground. So I'll say that you miss him, but you'll hit these other two who are not
Step
quite
on his
paying
hand.
attention. Oh,
Press it into the glass.
She stepped onto his back to do this spin.
and then this him. That's 4. Yeah, so you spin around, like, just give everyone a nice old fucking, what kind of wrench is it? It's like one of those, like, cliche orange monkey wrenches.
That's on Kaya.
Yeah,
What kind of wrench is it?
I imagined it was like the kind of wrench she uses.
Thick picture.
Yeah, a big wrench that she would use to tighten her tires.
Huh.
Like a
Lug nut
crow-
wrench.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that's the only thing that can survive being handled by Lockhart.
Okay. So you spin around and, like, hit everyone with the wrench, and then as you stop to spin, you notice the dude on the ground start to get up, and you just put your foot up and then put your foot down.
And I get a second maneuver, correct? Or second
Yes,
thing?
your second thing.
So I only took out 2 of them, correct?
Correct.
How fucked is this guy looking?
Which guy?
Red.
The red.
He's really not looking good. He's not quite out yet, but he is almost out.
I'm gonna go for him. Maybe if we take down the leader, the others will fall.
The spirit dies for the followers.
Yeah.
The morale.
That's gonna. This gonna depend. The success of that is gonna depend on the fucking tiny ones. If they're gonna let these guys go at this point, because they pissed them both off.
Let's see. Do I have anything for single combat, real quick?
Do ya?
I'm looking. No, but I should have done something last turn, which I did not do. But I'll do it next turn.
What'd you do?
I have tank. I could have taken a hit from Marcus.
Even though you're not next to him?
Let's see. When an ally's tough defense or quick defense is targeted, you may use an attack to either physically impose yourself between the ally and the attacker or move them out of the way. You are now the target of their attack. Every use of this action after the first one uses prep.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
I'll say that if you want to push someone out of the way of something and take the attack, in most cases you would need to be next to them, but because it's just a dude swinging blows at Marcus, well, actually, no, the guy who hit Marcus is that guy.
Oh, I thought it was Red. My bad.
No, Red actually did not go for Marcus yet.
So
He might.
if I moved here, just could I like pull him back off of Marcus? Then
There. Gotcha. Sorry. If you moved there, yeah, you could. Well, Red's still not necessarily looking at Marcus right now. He's kind of looking between the two of you because Marcus punched the shit out of him. But yeah, if you step there and Red goes for Marcus, you can hit him or take the blow for him.
okay, that's what's important.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna go for red and green because like they're right there. So
Gotcha.
I will pop another prep. Damn.
Okay. So you step to the side and
Well,
continue pirouetting with the wrench, like duck underneath some stray fist. Make me a because you're walking on the rough terrain area. Make me a quick roll.
Would the martial arts thing factor in here?
Oh wait, no, you're right. Sorry, you already told me that.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
I have a lot of like, if this happens, this happens. So.
Yes, and I don't know any of it. It's fine. But you
should
step
make a
in
filter.
the path here and spin around, pirouetting with the wrench, keeping your bad arm kind of tucked underneath you. Try to keep that safe and minimize any sort of strain that you might exhibit. But as you're just spinning and pirouetting around, you will hit him. Whoops, that's the wrong, not that one. And then you hit him. And then this guy, I think, is already hit. So as you step in, this guy like tries to take a swing at you, and it's very easy for you to just duck it, spin around, and club him, and he goes down. When you hit Red, though, you trigger something, because like as you crack him in the back of the dome again, and he turns around and like in fury and like very, very badly wounded. Now he is like pushing the last little bit of effort he can out to stay in the fight because he's very dedicated to this. He looks at you and turns around and like immediately goes for something in his jacket. He's like, "You fucking whore!" He'll pull out a handgun, point blank, and is going to try and shoot you.
Yee.
What is your quick defense?
Quick.
You cannot roll it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I actually have float like a butterfly, but I don't think I can use it.
You used your actions to attack.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's why. So it's 12.
Okay. So he pulls out this gun. It is a much heavier caliber than you had last seen, or than the last one he had. And point blank, sticks it to right around your stomach area. And he'll shoot. And he'll deal 3 damage.
Well, I'm back at 4 wounds.
Feluska's gonna kill us.
So, you guys hear the the shout and the as the gunshot goes off. Kaya, you see Lockhart from across the room. You watch that gun go right up to her stomach, right up to the abdomen, and it you're not sure where it was in the ab area, but she got shot.
Alright. Kaya's very upset.
Mm-hmm.
And if Lockhart survives this, Kaya is going to kill her. But first, there's this fucko right in front of her. And the gunshot goes off, and she's just... I don't know. I had a couple ideas of some fuck shit to pull, but I'm just like, she just heard a gunshot. I don't think she's gonna have the mindset to do some fuck shit at this exact moment. Following rounds, yeah. But for this, I think she's just gonna fucking pull out a tire iron.
Yes!
Fuck this guy.
I was waiting for it.
I'd like to use prep on this.
Yep. You are more than welcome.
And it's tough, and she's got a +2 to brawling.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck this guy. $14, not that great. But it's something.
That will hit.
That will hit.
Yeah, so you will deal with your tire iron, like, in that moment of panic where you think Lockhart went down, but you see Lockhart's still upright. Not looking good. In fact, she's looking worse than when she went out, but you kind of... There was something in the back of your mind that told you this is going to happen. And this person in front of you, this dude, you've lost interest in the fear that you had for him. There is no more fear. So you bring the tire iron out, and then in one fell swoop of withdrawing it from your arm, you bring it across his face. And he goes down. I said goes down. There we go.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeet.
Yeet. Okay, what else can she yeet?
You got a fucking tool bag?
You got all sorts of shit.
I got all sorts of shit. Right. Okay, cool. Oh man, how upset is she? Because this kind of borders on biological warfare, what I'm thinking.
It's like, the other question is, does she have the capacity to yeet at the moment, or is she gonna charge? Because you only have one thing left you can do.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by capacity? Is there another thing?
I mean, like, is the first instinct she just, like, fucking run into the fray?
Mm-hmm.
Or to reach for the tool bag?
You have one action left.
Oh, okay, that's what you mean. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. Well, now that she took this guy down and she got a good look, she's still standing. And that was the big worry, that Lockhart would not be standing. And honestly, they just shot her friend. Who gives a fuck about Geneva Convention?
Damn.
So, Joe, I'd like to tell you an anecdote from my robotics days.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Why do you sound like that?
Because you're about to admit to war crimes live on stream.
I'm not admitting to war crimes, okay? Okay, so here's the thing, right? When you cut aluminum, there is dust that comes off of it, especially extruded aluminum, which is very popular when used for making chassis. So, I want to know if I can use the I don't need a manual with the 3D printer thingy that you rewrote. Use a prep. She pulls out a pouch or a bag of aluminum dust, and she probably pulls out like a DC motor attached to a D battery and just chucks it together and throws it over here to kick up a cloud of aluminum dust for these guys to breathe in.
Okay.
'Cause
That
I know
is.
one of the suggestions you put was a smoke cloud. I'm asking, can it be an aluminum dust cloud, which irritates the fuck out of your lungs and hurts a lot if you breathe it in? I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, I will allow you to make an aluminum smoke bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's another prep down.
yep. And where are you throwing it?
She does not want to hit her friends at all. So
Uh-huh.
she's aiming for these guys over here
In the
to like
doorway.
minimize. Yeah, the ones farthest away, but she's still trying to get a bunch of them together, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also like they just any qualms she had about the dangers, because again, aluminum dust exposure is a very very like known hazard, right? Like it's on the ATSDR, right? Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry. She knows this. She was the OSHA rep. They just tried to shoot her friend. She doesn't give a fuck anymore. And I kind of realized that, man, when you know all the OSHA shit, it's kind of fucked up when you decide to ignore it
Mm-hmm.
and instead weaponize your OSHA knowledge.
Wow.
Listen, they tried to shoot her, okay?
Okay.
New feature
So-
for Kaya, Union Rep Unleashed.
So can you make me a quick check, and you can add your engineering to this, to once again throw your aluminum dust
Mm-hmm.
or throw a thing. We'll see how you roll.
Okay.
14 with a 14.
Oh, I didn't roll yet.
Oh, that's not your roll. That's
That
the
was
tire iron.
previous. Yeah. Okay, so would I need to spend another prep on top of this to boost it?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like this is important.
Ideally, if you're throwing aluminum dust, yes.
Yeah.
I would say so.
This is
I
a
love-
very dangerous hazard.
I love that you have once again made Joe make that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like rapidly was like, what? And I started Googling aluminum dust danger. I was like, this is, yeah,
An
no, this
actual
is
danger. We had to wear
something.
masks when we were cutting extruded aluminum for our chassis.
We've
Funny enough,
continued
The
the.
aluminum.
Sorry,
Sorry, again.
say we've
Just
continued the trend of like fucking breaking Joe in combat.
So you're throwing this aluminum dust like this quick little like contraption.
That's going to spread the dust into the air. I imagine it's a tiny piece of like cardboard attached to a DC motor. And that just kicks on, chucks into the bag, and yeets the bag so that it kicks it up into the air.
Yes. So
Mhm.
you have the bag of powder, and then you throw that DC motor into the bag, and then just lob it. When you lob the bag, where are you aiming at again? Here?
Oh,
or down
nowhere
here?
near the party, Jesus.
There, yeah.
Yeah, around,
Yeah.
yeah, there.
Okay. So you're rolling a 15,
Mhm.
and okay. Let me see. Roll me. Actually, no. That's perfect. So your bag lands, and just roll 2d6 for a luck check.
Okay.
8. Okay. So, what causes aluminum dust to combust? Asking for a friend.
I mean, we were really careful with the batteries and with sparks. I mean, we had a teacher yell at some kids for having their vapes near it.
Gotcha.
Electricity.
Yeah, hold on, but I'm not sure. That could have just been a aluminum dust to.
Go here. I need go.
Actually, when in contact with water, it releases heat and hydrogen. So if it touches anything liquid, it gets really fucking hot and causes an explosion. Which I'm sure there is water from. It's a bar.
Yeah,
And-
there is.
Blood.
Yeah. And blood,
There
yeah.
is- there is blood and water. Not in. a
Oh no,
great
their mouths!
deal. Yeah. So
Oh no, that's alive in their mouths!
roll.
Inside of the body is wet. Oh no!
Let's see. It's gonna land here.
Oh fuck, she's committing a war crime. Oh shit. Oh
Are we real certain that she has actually in fact lost that fucking like rage trait?
How? But roll me 1d3.
no! What the fuck? We've never had to roll a d3. Okay.
Just how many people you kill
Two.
outright.
Okay.
You put a fucking.
The D3 was to determine how much powder and how wide the area around the powder would be. So you throw the bag. You can hear the motor spin up or start to spin up as you are lobbing it, and as it sails through the air, it leaves like a tiny little trail. Not enough to do any significant damage to anyone because it's arcing through the air, but when it lands, it poofs, and there is a sudden, like, it is very much like a smoke bomb. You have detonated a small dust cloud explosion, but it's gray, and it has this unsettling quality to it. And all of these guys in here, I'm gonna just.
Oh my god. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I had the thought of just Kaya just has either she says it out loud or she just thinks it of just like, yeah, ever heard of metal fume fever? That's what it's called when you inhale a lot of aluminum dust.
So
Metal fume fever.
the concentration of metal in the air is very, very high in that area. It's not like diffused like in a workshop almost, where there's a thing you're working with and then it kind of dissipates into the air a little bit or settles onto the workbench. There is a plume of dust, and all of the dust is there. So it lands and makes this cloud, and immediately you hear a couple people just start to gag and choke, and it is gruesome, like retching gagging noises as they are panting and breathing from running or fighting, and they are taking deep inhales of aluminum. And they, like, it is, I imagine, a lot like the cinnamon challenge, but way worse in every capacity. So, yeah, imagine the aluminum challenge, but it's metal dust instead of just cinnamon, you know?
Something that you're meant to eat.
Yeah. And, like, all of these dudes are, like, Lockhart, you are standing next to a poof of smoke that you see several people, like, who were standing, raring to fight. They immediately, like, go for their throat and, like, start to gasp and choke. One or two of them, then the rest of them all start falling to one knee or falling on their knees completely, covering and scratching at their eyes, trying to stop it. If anyone here was a war vet, they'd be having flashbacks right about now.
Oh my god. What the fuck? Yeah, you know what? Maybe short fuse isn't gone.
Short fuse is now an incidental. You shoot a friend and it comes back.
Comes back when someone he cares about is in danger.
I want to say these guys are.
Orbits thinks it's mustard gas. And this is just shit from like everyday construction workers know and deal with. And she's weaponized it.
You've really badly like hurt their morale. That goes off, and then all of the people, like, the dust doesn't stay for very long because it is a heavy dust and it starts to settle very quickly, but it's getting kicked up as they fall and kind of flail and kick around and cough and hack. Several of these guys are now looking like this entire endeavor is fucked. It's going to be Red's turn. If no, wait, sorry, it's
Larry.
Larry's turn.
Larry, alright, bottles.
So
Bottle time
Larry,
with
There's-
the swarm.
10 of them.
which group do you want Larry to go to?
This one here.
That one? Okay.
Yeah.
So Larry flying in formation with himself.
Bunch of bottles following up, 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 up.
Just
So he will fly
rain of
overhead,
bottles.
and they're not super accurate, but if they hit, it will hurt.
He's got a
Uh,
+3, right? From
that's-
drone use?
Yeah, I was about to ask what his
Mm-hmm.
what his bonus was, but that +3
Mm-hmm.
is very good for him. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dudes in there. It's 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, and last one 6. Holy shit!
Bottles.
Pick one guy out of that group of 6.
I don't know. This one, I don't like him.
This guy. All right.
Mhm.
So as
Looks like he's
Larry-
about to flank Marcus. I don't like him.
Larry flies overhead, there's a like very it's hard to hear over the chaos of the fight and the noise and the music that Calamity is playing, but you think you can hear like a very distant like what the fuck is it? The Ride of the Valkyries? Very gently like
Why is it himself?
and there's the little like meow, and then as the bottle falls, and a couple of them miss and just like shatter on the ground and spread broken glass. A few of them land pretty decisively on people. This dude will get one. This dude you pointed out,
Mhm.
it lands on him, where one bottle lands square on his head, and it like he initially is hurt by it, and then shakes his head and tries to move, and then another bottle hits him, and then a third, and then a fourth, and he gets hit so many times that he is actually knocked out from the sheer amount of like shit falling on him.
Let's go, Larry!
That will be Larry's turn, which seems to be pretty successful.
Injured one or two, took down one by himself.
Let's go! One that was
So-
at full health, too. I love him so much.
Fucking mental. He got double 6s, which is
Let's
bonkers.
go!
So the Larrys are flying overhead. This guy, the skinhead leader here, is like raging and pissed off, but he is also on his last legs. He is going to fire twice at Lockhart.
Didn't he already shoot?
He did already shoot. He's got a magazine of bullets.
That was his legendary action.
He has
okay.
one special ability, which is right like when he hits 5 wounds on his threshold, he is wounds and threshold. When he hits 5 on the damage tracker, he gets to shoot someone once.
Ah.
And now he is just going to shoot. Oh man. So your defense is 13. So he hits you twice for 2 damage each.
That's 1 damage each.
Lockhart's
Because it
dead.
won't go down. Not quite.
Not quite. You're not out yet, because I don't know how much damage reduction you have, but
It would take me over to the death zone, but professional C. It can take 1 lethal blow for me.
amazing.
She's almost dead.
So you you're shot 2 more, like Kaya, you throw that bomb and you see that it has not slowed down the one guy at all. As after he shoots Lockhart, he pulls the pistol into a grip and shoots 2 more times.
Fuck this
That's
guy.
his whole turn. And Lockhart, you are like, the gunshots are deafening in the room. It is like, and there's this moment of slowdown as you're starting to feel like the pulse of blood rush in your head. And this is, you've taken a lot of blows. Were you not already severely injured, you would probably be handling this a lot better. But this is a bit of an awkward situation because you're down an arm. And he shoots again, and you feel like the world spin, and you're losing blood, but you take a knee, and you feel like the second wind start to come on.
Marcus gets a group prep.
The fury grows.
Marcus is like full tilt going to unload on this dude again. So you're giving him his prep? The prep
Yes.
to use?
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah. Same.
Okay.
We have 2 group prep. We can give it to him for each of his actions.
Yes.
1, 2. So he does not get any additional punches, unfortunately.
Damn.
He rolled a 4 and a 5.
Ugh.
He hits twice, but he does not get to machine gun punch. But what he does get is he like sees the gun come out, and then he's like reacting as fast as he possibly can, which is faster than probably an average person, but is not quite fast enough. The gun fires twice more, and Lockhart, you're starting to feel that like numbness set in, which is kind of refreshing because you don't feel heavy anymore. And as you're starting to feel this like slowdown and kind of heavy-headed, you see both of Marcus's arms like rear up, one over the right side of this dude's shoulder and one over the left, and Marcus will grab the gun in one hand and wrap his arm around the dude's neck in the other. And in a fantastic display of strength, you get to see Marcus like bodily lift this dude up. It is an awkward maneuver because he is acting more out of emotional rage than any sort of training method in any way. But he grabs the gun, grabs the dude around the neck, and will take one big step and heave and bodily throw this dude over his shoulder. And this, again, no technique. This is just raw strength that he has built up. He will pick him up and throw him down into the ground and flatten him onto the floor. And that will be the killing blow on this dude, or the knockout blow rather. But he has disarmed the gun from him and opened up the path to you. It took his whole turn to do it. Well, you see, like, in that moment, he turns to see you, and he's all in a weird way. He is like you have this Philatides Hercules moment where you're like, look at him, battle damaged, standing here throwing people, doing you proud.
That's my boy.
I raised that boy.
You guys aren't privy to this, I don't know why. But I thought so. I gave Marcus one passive benefit that I thought was very cute. He is no longer intimidated by enemies unless they have a weapon visibly displayed. He is no longer intimidated by anyone who is just like brandishing their muscles or fists at him. And I don't know why I named it this, but the first thing that came to mind was like boy courage. And that is like a very small version of Lockhart's like the anti-fear thing Lockhart has.
Hardened Stare, I believe it's called.
Yeah, that's the one. So you see Marcus there, like beaten. There's like blood coming down the side of his head from the blow to the back of the head, and he's looking rough, but he's way better looking than you right now in terms of physical capability. But as that skin-headed dude is thrown up and over and thrown back onto the ground, gun ripped from his hands, it is now the gang members' turn. Several of them are unconscious. Several of them look dead, and the remaining few who aren't trapped in a cloud of like burnable poison are starting to panic. And Lockhart, you're not knocked out. You got shot 3 times, and you're upright.
Yep.
So
You're just becoming. You are the nightmare monster for an entire gang.
She's a boogeyman.
It's not my turn, but when it becomes, I am definitely going to try and intimidate all these fuckers.
I'm going to ask for your intimidation roll now.
Okay, cool.
Because it's their turn, and they want to run, probably. This intimidation roll is going to be, like, pivotal, really.
What would you like me to roll for this? Or, like, what stat and whatnot? Because technically hardened stare, it seems like it's just an automatic thing.
Oh, what is the wording on it?
So, let me see. You're immune to thing. You are so calm and collected that those who are close by are intimidated by your intensity. If anyone attempts to scare or intimidate you, they become scared or intimidated by you instead. This does not apply to things that do not feel fear. Additionally, anyone with a lower toughness score than you can be intimidated without needing to roll. This does not affect PCs.
Okay. Well, I would say that in this particular circumstance, let me see.
I'm fine with rolling, I just didn't know what you wanted me to roll for this, that's all.
I was going to say roll a toughness check as though you were attacking someone, but you don't get the
The bare knuckles.
Yeah, you don't get bare knuckles.
Mhm.
But you are rolling effectively tough plus your melee capability.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've been doing it the whole game, so I might as well boost it.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that was a really bad roll.
I don't know if you guys have any abilities to retroactively like benefit shit or not, but a 15.
I mean, I could boost it
Kaya-
after the roll.
Kaya does.
Hmm.
Oh.
So, fuck it. I can boost it.
Throw another d6 onto it.
Throw another d6 onto it, and I imagine, Joe, I realized
Mm-hmm.
the I don't need a manual, her fucking aluminum dust cloud, because she has 7+, she can use it twice. So could the thing that helps it is that the DC motor starts kicking on again?
Oh. Sure. So as I'm gonna get rid of this. Quick. Okay. So you, Lockhart, you have 3 bullet wounds in your gut. Your suit is just in tatters. It is falling to pieces around you. It is blood-soaked and sweat-soaked. But despite getting shot 3 times, there's one deafening crack of the leader of this band, of this gang, being thrown onto the ground and the leader just not moving. Like, just being stock still, face first on the ground, no gun in hand. Marcus, holding the gun, watches you, and you stand up. You look around, and you meet the gaze of every single guy who is still standing upright around you. And after a brief pause, there is a little, like, stutter of, like, and little wisps of aluminum smoke start to drift in this, like, soft, powdered, gray no man's land that is right before the door. And as that happens, there is a silence among the room, and for the first time since she has started playing, Calamity stops, and everyone's just kind of looking at Lockhart standing upright. What do you want to say to scare all of them out of the room? Or what do you want to do?
See. Normally she looks very calm and, cool. She kind of looks pissed right now. And she looks at Green, because Green would be the second in command here.
You look at him, and immediately he flinches, like you just slapped him across the face.
She gets up real close. I warned you. You want to stay away. I let you live. Now, are you and your friends, you and your gang, going to die for his revenge? And she points. Like, she uses her bat arm. She just ripped her arm out of the sling and pointing with her bat arm.
You, at that realization, like, throughout all of the fighting, there is just the tacit assumption that is like, yeah, that's the one we're here for, beat her up. And when you rip off the sling, toss it to the ground, and point with the arm in the sling, that had been in the sling, many of the dudes and gang members who are standing around have this dawning moment where they, like, realize she's been fighting one-handed the whole time. Oh. And with, like, there's a beat, and then everyone starts to shuffle out. It's like one dude closest to the door, like, scoots holds his breath, jumps through the toxic wind, and just fucking hits the street and is gone. And then everyone starts to leave. And it becomes an exodus. There are other guests in the room who were not involved in the fight who were like, no, fuck this place. I'm out. I'm out. They throw their hands up and they start walking towards the door.
There's
And
windows too.
There are at least 2 people who choose to go out of the window rather than go by the door. But it very quickly and very awkwardly, people scramble to get by you, leaving as big a berth around Lockhart as possible, while simultaneously making their way to the exit. It is kind of awkward to see, like, people try to give Lockhart, like, a 10-foot wide berth so that they don't have to get too close to her, having, like, literally watching her with 3 fresh gun wounds and what presumably was a broken arm, but I guess is fine, just stand up. But they fuck off.
The door is like trapped twice, including Lockhart being there.
Everyone running through the aluminum area, like, they cover their mouth and nose and hold their breath running through as best they possibly can. A few of, like, it still gets on them and in their eyes, and you can hear people as they exit outside, like, break down onto the ground and coughing and wheezing. Just a mess. You can also see that several of the people who are unconscious are hoisted by their friends and carried out that way. Like, some people just leave them. Very much like, look at the guy on the ground and they're like, no, he's on his own. And then
That's what looting is for. But Lockhart holding on to Green. She's not letting Green go yet.
Oh, you're...
Until the rest go.
Stay after class.
Yep.
I forgot that you'll probably want red there,
Yeah.
because people are going to try to take red, but...
No.
Just like first one that reaches for it. Let's like look at Marcus like, don't you dare let them touch him.
Marcus flexes slightly, and they just get spooked.
I was gonna say, yeah, someone starts to go to grab red, and there's they have one arm over their neck, and they start to lift, and then Lockhart looks at Marcus. Marcus looks at them, and then does in a very un-Marcus fashion. He does the little chest puff where he's just like, "What?" And then the dude drops him, and he's just like, "Nope, nope, nope."
Nope. You're on your own. Oh my god.
It's also worth noting that people leaving who are not with the Terabyte boys, there are other gang members present. You don't know what gang they're affiliated with, but as they're leaving, they have matching colors. Get it? And similar appearance to that of what a typical gang would wear. And these guys, they look like neon techno 80s revival shit. One of them has a blue and pink mohawk and a yellow jacket. They are all dressed like a disaster of color and fashion, and unironically have what appear to be swords on their back. And they just scoot by, and they're like, no, fuck this place.
Oh man, Lockhart is securing her reputation as the fucking gang boogeyman. Oh my god. Well, anyway. Fucking, as soon as Lockhart's done fucking with those guys. Kai is coming in hot.
It's as you see these last few people exiting Lockhart, there are two faces that stick out to you. And they do not stop to say hello. But you see the knowing recognition on their face as they look. And you don't know what they're doing here or who they're with. You don't know more than the fact that they were here. But given the circumstances and what just transpired, you can see the fear-stricken eyes, and even they do not stop their pleasantries as they leave. Are you doing anything as they scoot by?
Yeah, first of all, about these people who that are with them, what do they look like? The mooks that are with them.
Can we get
The
blown
mooks?
up tokens so that we can see?
And
Yeah.
also not invisible.
I don't know how to make them more visible.
You have to
It's
drop them
fucking annoying.
near a light source. So one in the corners or something.
So what I will do first is find some more chill music.
You can also just drop their tokens in the Discord.
I was about to do exactly that. So where
Hey.
is character images? So go here and here. Here. We have this one. We have
Why does he look like a vampire wannabe to me?
where? This one.
He wishes.
She also looks like a vampire wannabe. Joe, your weird is fucking bleeding into cyberpunk, you guys.
Shut up.
Straighten that up.
Shut up. It's fine.
Didn't I send you that image
Maybe.
like a year ago?
It's fine. I've had this one on the back burner because I got that image and I was like, this could be someone in Cyberpunk, and I was thinking about it for a long time, and I knew who they were, and then Lockhart coincidentally had some backstory that I could piggyback on.
Mm-hmm. I send you character images for a reason. I want them to be used, so I am very happy that you used it.
Hell yeah! But Lockhart,
Yeah, what are these people that are with them like first?
so these people they're with, there's nothing overtly. Since you have the pictures, you could just look at them. But the people that they're with, these two were not affiliated with each other. And as they're walking out, there's kind of like a surprise, like, wait, you're here too? Look. It's a little bit difficult to read, but you can see that the person who was standing with the red-haired woman seems to be a moderately, like, I don't want to say moderately affluent, but they're nondescript. They are not like a punk or anything like that. Excuse me. They look kind of middlingly average. That person doesn't have any sort of overt gang affiliation or sort of they don't have an archetypal thing to really like latch onto. Like they're not a goth or a jock or any sort of thing like that. This looks like a person who got off of their 9-to-5 and had to meet someone. And the people who are hanging out with the man, the long-haired boy, they look more like your typical, like, punk kids who are adults, but they never really stopped being punk kids. And in this case, I mean punk in the less flattering way. This is a punk who is like a troublemaker who
A
they
knockoff
don't,
Ollie?
huh?
A knockoff Ollie?
It would be all of the vibe of Ollie, but with none of the I want to make a better world and all of the I like doing what I want because I'm tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of punk. They
And
are,
that's what these people?
yeah. So
Okay.
this person 9 to 5. This
Okay.
person and all of the people out here, these are all street punks, more or less.
Okay. Hmm. Damn it. Okay.
What are you doing?
So I imagine Lockhart had Green in her palm, like it was threatening him, and noticed out of the corner of her eye these two.
Mm-hmm. And
She
you notice
Hello.
them, you, like, by the time you notice them, they are well aware of you, and there is recognition in their eyes, very plain to see.
Lockhart kind of stares at them for a second, like, wait, what? And lets go of Green. And turns specifically to follow them outside.
The second you let go of Green, he starts to make a run for it, and Marcus just snags him by the back of the collar.
Eh.
Kaya and Legacy, what are you doing as you see Lockhart clear out the building of basically everyone in one fell swoop after several chaotic rounds of fighting, and then hone in on two strangers who you don't know at all.
I think Amy's AFK at the moment.
I just got back. Like, just sat down.
Legacy doesn't see shit because while we don't have war veterans, we do have somebody who has trauma related to breathing.
Ah,
Ooh.
So Legacy has dropped back down behind the counter and is trying very hard to work through some shit.
ooh.
Oop.
Oops. Not the intention.
It's
Anyway, I was gonna very quick thing say, like, our first go or thought for Kaya at least is fucking first aid kit. If no one is about to die, if no one is about to die, she's gonna go and clean up her fucking mess over there.
Mhm.
Because now it's just a bunch of aluminum dust settled on the floor.
As you start to go and like clean things up, Larry will float over and with all of the mini Larrys in tow, start to like almost vacuum it up. He doesn't have a vacuum like attachment in any way, but Larry and the Larrys are doing their best to scoop and clean
What?
so that there's less dust.
This is a stupid
Dust
question.
mask.
Is aluminum magnetic?
Yes. Or I'm pretty sure it
Yes.
is.
They got fucking magnetic butts.
Yeah, this is true. Which,
Yeah.
as they get close to it, I imagine the dust would probably stick to a lot of them.
I assume it is because it's metal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Kaya fucking pulls out a fucking dusk mask. Last time she pulled one out was the fucking haunted house.
She has them on tap.
She has to clean this up.
Yes, so you clean up enough of the dust that it is no longer an active hazard.
It's only a hazard while it's in the air. Otherwise, it's just dust.
Gotcha. Well, good. So,
Mhm.
Larry and you start doing that, and like Lockhart has started to stop these few strangers.
She'll follow them outside to talk to them outside. Essentially.
Clean up crew over here.
So imagine she kind of stopped them at the door, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ew. See me outside of class. Wait in the hallway.
The one guy is lingering a little bit, but the 4 punks who were hanging out with the long-haired boy, they throw up deuces and start to leave. Unless you're stopping them too, or trying to.
Nope. No.
Choose your battles.
Yeah, and this guy who's lingering with the woman you know, he looks back at her, and then she just shakes her head, does a little shoe gesture with her hand, and he looks back at Lockhart and turns around on his heel and starts to leave without looking back at Lockhart again.
I wasn't expecting to see you two slumming it in Adamsword.
Both of them look at each other, and then look at you, and then look at your gunshot wounds. So, are you gonna get those checked, or? Yes. Well, if you like, I have a driver from Mother's, well, from her list of drivers, and I can have someone pick you up and take you to the hospital, and will be right as rain.
Lockhart actually makes a very sour face at the mention of Mother. Oh,
I know
goodness.
you and Mother never got along, but I think it would only be right to offer this to you, given your current situation.
I'm more than capable of getting the assistance of you for myself. What's all of you two doing here?
And there's from the woman, mind you, she has a very well maintained swoop of reddish hair, like very orange reddish hair. She is dressed in, coincidentally enough, Lockhart, she is dressed in very modest, nondescript clothing. Like, it's nice, it is high quality clothing, but it isn't. It seems a little toned down for what you would have expected her to wear, especially were she going to somewhere maybe like this. You would expect maybe expensive, fancy club gear, or maybe if it's not, you're not sure what to fully expect, really. But you can tell, for one thing, is she is dressed in muted colors, and she is not wearing nearly the any expensive jewelry, any noticeable expensive jewelry. Not even earrings. No earrings, no necklace, no rings, nothing. And she does have these stylish a very, very dark shaded sunglasses on. which is unusual for her because she doesn't typically wear sunglasses much.
Like she's undercover kind of thing? Like
If
this what's the sus vibe here?
it is basically that. It is, if you didn't know better, you'd say she was trying to dress to be incognito.
Yeah, okay.
And well, the boy is dressed in his traditional sort of I'm richer than you vibe. But with his own little display of rebelliousness thrown on top. He has very expensive, very, very, like, well manicured burgundy slacks. He has expensive shoes with, like, a gold buckle on them. He has a black collared shirt, and it's unbuttoned a little bit to show off a necklace that he is wearing. You can see that his sleeves are rolled up to the elbow a little bit, and he has tattoos on display, new ones from the last time you had seen him. Nothing incredibly out of the ordinary. This is just the adult version of his attire.
Hmm.
Inside, meanwhile, Kaya, you've cleaned up enough of the dust with the help of Larry, and you see Marcus like holding on to this second in command dude. This second in command dude is wearing like just dark denim jeans and sneakers, and like a pretty standard like white wife beater kind of vibe. He's dressed in a much more shabby version of what this the leader was wearing, because he doesn't have like the leather jacket or quality leather boots. He just kind of looks like a high school dropout kid who really wanted to like get into crime or something. And he has the same sort of demeanor as someone who is in way over their head as Marcus holds the back of his shirt. And Marcus just gestures outside to Lockhart. And he's like, you saw what I saw, right? Like, and he gestures to the gun, which he has left on the floor, because he did not want to touch it.
Yeah. So, Kaya, having gotten the dust probably into a pile, and the mini Larrys are all just like putting it into a bag to be disposed of. I imagine one of them found a little mini dustpan and brush.
I was going to say,
somewhere.
yeah, they swoop in and pretend to eat it as they stuff it into a bag or themselves.
Oh my god. But she, after getting that cleared up so it doesn't get kicked up anymore from people walking, she'll turn to Marcus, and she's just gonna shrug. And she's gonna turn to the doorway. She's gonna step closer. But she saw a Lockhart went that way. So, forgive me. Lockhart gonna step a little closer. And not like yell, but kind of call out. It's like, yo, Locke, you good? Fuck you doing?
Lockhart's eyes widen slightly as she hears that, realizing who was in front of her.
Yeah, you can see that the people who are standing in front of you, they both look very lost at the name Lockhart. Or Locke, rather.
She ignores Kaya. and she looks at them, she's like, "You haven't answered my question. What are you two doing here?"
Well, I'm sorry. Are they looking for Miss Valerie? She's not here.
Ignore them. What they need, or what they're calling for, and what I'm asking are two different things.
The boy looks and puts his hands in his pockets, shrugs, goes, I mean, just because you got in a bar fight doesn't mean we have to tell you anything. We're here of our own business, and I didn't even know you were in this ward. I didn't know you could come to this ward. I didn't think it was expensive enough for you. I hardly think that's appropriate. This is a nice ward. It's very pleasant. It's homey. It has a familiar,
Raised
but
eyebrow.
kind of relaxed vibe to it.
Do these two seem like they legitimately didn't know they were here?
You can roll cool check.
I will. Yeah, I want to suss this out if I can. You said a cool check?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I do not have anything that would help here.
You gonna boost it?
Yeah. I mean, I have it. Might as well use it.
Yep. That's really
Perfect.
good.
Yo!
From just like you're really dialed in right now. Despite the fight being over, the adrenaline is still like rocketing through your system. And so you're hyper aware of every little twitch and errant like movement of every person who is in your sight. And you're looking at these two very, very closely. From the way that their body language would have you believe, and from the way that they're talking, kind of carrying themselves, it really does seem like they were coincidentally both here at the same time. Just as surprised to see you as you are surprised to see them, as they are surprised to see one another.
Is there animosity between the two?
With a 16 cool check, I'll give that one to you too. You can sense that there's not open animosity, but there's certainly no fondness towards one another. The last time you saw them was many years ago.
Yeah. Huh. She's kind of looking between the two. So we two aren't together.
No. Dude, you up and vanished. I don't know. What? 6 years or some shit? What Darren means to say is that we grew apart as we grew older, as many people do in life. I mean, look at yourself. It's been so long, and well, frankly, we missed you. Mother and I did, at least. I don't think I can speak for... Well, Darren. Don't use my name like I'm not right here in the room. Or street. And she does not regard that statement at all. She is just continuing to look at you, Lockhart.
Lockhart scoffs. You missed me. You... Now that's a joke.
She immediately she tilts her head in this like, oh, but Crimmy, we did miss you. Nothing was ever the same when you left. And I mean more than just your services. Well, well, Miss Valerie missed you too, and it was hard on her. She's still employed with us, by the way. If you ever want to come see her, you're more than welcome. Mother would love to see you again.
Sure.
Look, I'm gonna go. I don't need to be here.
Lockhart doesn't. She just like kind of side glances at him, but doesn't really give a shit. So it seems that things are don't matter as much, I guess, for him. And she's a little pissed off right now. In front of her.
He throws up 2 fingers and does a very lazy 2-finger salute, like, get bent, losers. Don't follow me. He just keeps walking. And he'll walk away. Kaya and Legacy, you hear that conversation going on, and while that conversation is going on, Legacy, you were like collecting yourself a little bit behind the counter.
Mm-hmm. Like, hand on her chest, like mumbling to herself, trying to get her shit straight.
You didn't notice it at first because you were very, very focused on just calming yourself down and doing your breathing exercises, just kind of keep yourself stable. But the bartender like approached you, and he's not super close to you, but closer than he was before. And you can see that up close, he is a very broad-chested, like wide-shouldered, very handsome-looking guy, and he'll take a knee. He looks to be probably similar in age, if not a little bit older than JJ. And he just furrows his brow. You can see that as he takes a knee next to you, he is holding the shotgun. At some point during the fight, he unracked it, and he looks at you and just gives you a very, very, like, serious look. He's like, good?
That is a relative question. I will be.
That's good. You owe me 4 cans of pineapple. He stands up, starts to walk, like, he racks the shotgun back behind the counter. He grabs a broom and mop.
Just slight choking noise. We'll fucking go find the fucking... Before they leave, like, she's just gonna find the bin-ass cans of pineapple. Because it's a can, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, but every can that you threw is not opened, but the two of the 3 you threw are real bent. You fucking beaned those. And you don't have to roll a cool check for this. There was genuine concern in his voice. And once you said that you were going to be okay, he was back to being the bartender. And you can see that he is now awkwardly shuffling cleaning supplies out and around the counter, and he's going to go straighten chairs and do some maintenance. And while he is doing that, Calamity just waves from across the room and just goes, "Sorry we wrecked the place. Love you, B." He just throws a middle finger up over his shoulder and continues to straighten things up.
I'm just imagining she left boot marks on the bar.
She did.
How many times has he had to wipe up the boot scuffs?
They have character.
Bad character.
Calamity will like hustle up to make sure that you're okay, Legacy, and you can see as she walks up to you, she is like plucking one or two little strings on the keytar, just doing like the fucking like bing bing ding 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 bam bam. Hey, you good? You kind of like beamed the shit out of a few guys with cans and stuff, and then dipped behind the counter and stayed there. Why didn't you grab the gun?
Lacey just kind of looks up at her because I imagine her back is actually like to the counter right now, and so it's just this awkward like leaning over the counter and then looking up at an upside down face. And Lacey just takes a very slow, kind of shaky breath and closes her eyes and doesn't speak for a moment and then nods and will kind of slowly stand up and turn around and just kind of taps her throat where the metal plate is. I don't know how you got yours, but not all of them are voluntary.
She nods, and there is like Calamity is kind of hoisting herself up onto the counter so that she can lean over it, and her feet are dangling behind her, and as she you kind of point out to your throat, there's a moment of realization on her face, and she goes, no, I totally get it. I mean, I don't get it because it obviously didn't happen to me or whatever, but I can respect it. Makes sense. While you're back there, can you, I don't know, grab a bottle or something? You won't mind. Yes, I will.
Lacey just kind of looks that direction, looks down at the
tip.
bar, and rather than grabbing a big bottle or anything, she'll just grab a beer and hand it to.
You grab a beer and hand it to Cal, and she's like, dope, and she slips back down and cracks it open, and from her now regular standing height on the other side of the counter, you could hear her slurp. She just goes, take your time, your friends are just chilling. I think there are some other friends of yours or friends of your friends or whatever that were here. Gunshot Girl's real tough. It's kind of hot. She takes a big sip of beer.
Legacy just kind of a little snort. I'll stand up and kind of check herself over. She is now wearing Marcus's jacket over the top of her own jacket, and will slide across the counter to the other side herself. What is with you? All of you fucking DJs must have a type.
And she shrugs, in a genuine, just no man, it's weird, but it's so totally a thing. It's weird that all DJs have the same kind of type, but we don't look like the type. It'd be really convenient if all DJs had a type and we could be each other's type. Know what I mean? He just kicks back another drink.
Just considering, and then a nod. Yeah, that would make things too easy for you guys.
She gestures with a tilt of the head towards the front area, and you can see that she's tilting her head towards Sprite. She goes, Sprite's the closest to my type, and also but I don't know, they do makeup too good. I need a little bit of rough. You know what I mean? Like Gunshot Girl.
Please don't start flirting with Lockhart too. Both of you go after her. She is going to hurt one of you.
She raises an eyebrow and goes, How?
Honestly, you know what? If you have to ask how, have fun. Have fun. Just like pat on the back.
When she asks how and you pat her on the back, you can see that she's doing the like rapid eyebrow raises. And she'll throw the guitar up onto the counter, and Calamity's gonna sit back and have a beer and chill. She basically performed a show for free.
That's what this is about.
Legacy will wander her way over to Marcus and Sprite, and Marcus is busy, so Sprite gets Legacy.
The Sprite, you can see as you walk up, they take their thumb and plug one of their nostrils, and you hear a real loud phew as they blow out of the other nostril, and just a wad of mucus and blood comes out. And they take their thumb and wipe their nose a little bit, just better. Oh, that's so much better. Oh, why is it that every guy goes for the head? Like, there's so many other places you could hit someone. But, like, dudes watch one action movie and think it's just, like, a karate chop to the head that every bad guy needs to hit. Like, why?
Legacy forcefully putting herself under Sprite's arm. I cannot tell you why I cannot reach most people's heads.
Are you still cold?
It's not about the cold. Are you going to complain about hugging me?
No. Although I think your friend's got more friends, and it's causing drama. I tell you to come look, and she looks at Marcus, he has Green by the collar of the shirt, Green has kind of gone limp. And is just like hanging out on his butt. And Marcus has the other foot on the back of the skinned head guy, and is just like, I'm good. I need to blow my nose too, probably. Ow. He rubs the back of his head and pulls his hand away, and there is blood on his fingers.
Kaya!
Kaya's making her way to the door. She's like, yeah, in a sec, all right? I think Locke's gone deaf.
Fucking
Make her way outside.
my boyfriend has blood.
Yeah,
Sprite.
Locke got shot. He can wait.
Sprite, like, huddles, like, pats the side of Legacy that is on the other side of her arm. She goes, let's go see. I want drama. And is going to start hustling you towards the door. Kaya,
Can Legacy see any trace of fucking dust on the ground?
You, in the same way that, like, when you scoop up dust and there's, like, a smear of color that is kind of left on the ground, like a very thin smeared line, there are a couple of those that are there, but other than that, it's mostly just dirty floor. Because, like, the floors weren't spotless. They have scuffs and dirt and grime all over them. But you're very, very keyed into those dust lines because you know exactly, like, those were not there before the dust landed, so I know that is at least from the thing. But you can't see anything else.
Even if it's just the lines, Legacy's still not fully back to normal. She's just gonna duck under Sprite's arm and just like go stand behind Marcus and like lean.
When you like pull back, Sprite stops, and then like there's confusion and just like a little bit of indignation of just like, why aren't you following me? I'm important. I have to be followed. And then the realization of, oh. And then Sprite will elect to stay with you and Marcus and the goons. Kaya, you've heard a little bit of the exchange with Lockhart and strangers who are a little confused. But
Clarify.
as
Sorry.
yeah,
I don't think Kaya's the eavesdropping type. I think she was just making her way over.
mhm.
Just careful
You-
not to
you just-
disrupt the little piles.
yeah, just more that you overheard them talking, and you can hear that there's one very posh, prim and proper one, and then one kind of a punk. But by the time you gave them a little bit of time and cleaned up and walked over, the punk guy is way down the street and kind of exiting. Lockhart, he seems very fixated on this red-haired, very prim and proper-looking woman.
Kaya probably just knock on door as she opens it, like probably the door frame. It was like, the gunshot didn't like make you deaf too, right, Locke? Cause like, I get it, you won't have a conversation, but like, could it at least make sure you're not, dying first?
Yes, Lockhart, you should, have your wounds tended to. It's very important that you don't bleed out any more than you've already bled.
Hearing that her name on this woman's lips is just infuriating.
She is
And
brightly smiling, with a touch of concern.
bullshit. Mm.
Who are you?
Oh, goodness, I'm so
No one
sorry.
important.
Don't be rude, Lockhart. I should introduce myself, it's only right. And she scoots past and will step up, and she'll extend a hand to Kaya.
Kaya, who is like, Lockhart's getting very upset at this woman. It's like, who the fuck are you? Kaya will take her hand and
She holds out her hand and she'll take it, and she does a very dainty, very short, once up down handshake, and then takes her hand back and she just goes, "I'm Prella Vicane. I'm the granddaughter of Cersei Vicane. You know the Vicane family. If you've watched any of the classics from television or movies."
sorry, it doesn't ring a bell.
Oh. So
Like-
you don't know, Running with the Wind, or...
No. Did you do that? Was that something you did?
That was something my mother did, or my grandmother did.
Oh, good for them.
Well,
Oh, name's Kaya. So, like, who are you? Like, what do you do?
Kaya, it's a pleasure to meet you. Again, like I said, I'm Prella, and I'm an actress.
Ah.
As is my grandmother. We are both actresses.
Cool.
Very cool. And do you know Miss... looks over to Lockhart. Do you know Miss Lockhart?
Yeah. Obviously. Do you know her?
I do. And she turns and looks at you, Lockhart. And there is a deviousness to that face. I do know her. Has she not told you about me?
I don't know why she would. But
Oh.
no.
She pantomimes being wounded, hand over the heart, bends her shoulders and her neck a little bit. Oh, you wound me, Lockhart. I can't believe you wouldn't tell anybody about me, about your family, or maybe your teacher.
Mm.
And she is smiling really, really widely.
That's a 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Someone's about to die.
you take a swing at her, you're gonna make Kaya have to step in, and that's not gonna turn out well for anybody.
Nope. But you full permission if you want to.
Lockhart.
Have
She's
Kaya
not gonna
leave her
take a
indicates
swing at her. She's not gonna take a swing at her. But she is going to grab her by the collar and push her against the wall, essentially.
Whoa.
Immediately like, oh, yes, excuse me, I believe you have pushed me up against the wall, and I've only just run into you again. It's been so many years.
Anything like you knew who I am.
Sorry, could you repeat that? I want to make sure that I heard you correctly.
Don't go acting like you know who I am, especially after all these years.
Oh, right. I suppose she's acting like she knows who you are too, then, and she gestures her head towards Kaya. And
It's me better than you do.
She turns to you, Kaya, and just waves a hand very gingerly.
Kaya just narrows her eyes, glares at her, is like, who the fuck is this?
And she turns, she looks at Lockhart. Goes,
What did Lockhart
do you
say?
want... What did Lockhart say?
Yeah, she said she knows me better than you do.
She regards that comment, and then Kaya's like, asks who the fuck this is, or who the fuck is this, and then she looks to you, Lockhart, tilts her head, and does a little bit of like a pouty lip, and goes, "Who am I? You do remember my name, Jew? And more importantly, who am I to you?" While she's earshot, she smiles.
God, I don't have an answer to this. Fuck.
Knowing that
Lockhart,
Kaya's
who-
also gonna have play 20 questions with you later.
Yep. Lockhart, who is uncharacteristically very pissed off right now. Very emotional, actually. She kind of squeezes her shirt a bit more, but then lets go.
The second you let go, she lands back on the ground and goes to adjust her collar, smooth out the wrinkles, and then she holds up her hand and makes a fist and clears her throat very dramatically. Right. Well, you know me, Miss Kaya, and you know Lockhart here, however you've met through the grapevine. At one point, a few years ago, Lockhart was in our employ. She turns to Lockhart, tilts her head. She was a bodyguard for my family. More specifically, my grandmother. If ever you decide, maybe watch a recording of any red carpet events.
I'm not gonna.
Well, if you would, or maybe if you happen to look it up, you'll see her there. My grandmother never went anywhere without her trusting bodyguard, Valerie Lockhart. You can never be too careful. The station here, crime is a very serious thing, and it's only gotten worse over the years. So, she looks up and down at you, Lockhart, very appraisingly, seeing your wounds, but seeing that you're upright. So, Miss Lockhart, if ever you want to reconnect, with some of your old employers. You know where to find me. But if there's nothing else, I would like to leave for the evening because it's getting quite late. And I've had such a stressful time over the past few minutes, especially with the fighting. And you undoubtedly need to get attended to. My offer still stands, by the way. I can call one of my mother's cars to have you lifted to the hospital.
I am not going to take any offers from you or that hobby.
She looks up and down at you again, and nods once. Understood. Then, if there's no need of me further, I would like to be on that. And at that moment, Kaya, you feel the familiar weight of Larry on top of your head. And Larry chimes in with, "We don't need you."
Kaya snorts at that. He's like, he's got a point. Bus stop's that way.
She looks at you, Kaya, nods once. Thank you. And she looks at Larry, and her eyes linger on Larry. And then she looks at Lockhart. Ta! And then turns around and on her heel and starts to walk away, unless you stop her.
Fuck no.
She walks on her way, and you can hear the clack of her heels, and you can see she's carrying a handbag with her, which is not unusual. And she is just goes off into the night, presumably to call one of her mother's drivers, because why the fuck would she take a bus? But she is walking towards the bus stop.
Fuck away from here. Yeah, Kaya doesn't like her. You have any idea how bad you gotta be for Kaya to not like you? You to fail the vibe check? I mean, she's out of earshot. Kaya is just gonna turn to Lockhart. Like, wanna chill here for a bit? Step inside.
Yeah, I would say 100%. Like, part of the reason why Lockhart just kind of let it go. Yeah, those wounds are really getting to her now.
Yeah.
She's been keeping up a strong face, but she was already fucked up.
Yeah. Alright, fucking sit down. Over here. Fucking nearest fucking
like
chair.
she came over, sat like I don't even like. She closed the door, leaned against the wall, and just sat down. Like, she feels like shit.
Oh, fucking first aid for her. She's gonna check those fucking gunshot wounds. She got shot 3 times.
And she still moved around with the bins. Probably not the smartest.
Nope.
And just
Yeah.
for the flavor, I imagine when you guys come back in Legacy, try to just find like a fucking bar towel and like reach up and just like put it to Marcus's head. Realize she was too short for it and commandeered a Larry. So there is a mini Larry
Helping, yes.
helping Marcus at the moment.
You just hold the towel up to the mini Larry that's like idly floating by, and it just zips down, and then like salutes, and you hear as it brings the towel up to the side of his head, and then presses it to the back of his head. And Marcus is like, "Ow! Thanks."
Do I have to roll first aid?
I will say, Lockhart, do you have any wounds?
Yeah,
Okay,
she's max.
She's not
Just like
superhuman.
just want to make
Like-
sure.
before this starts, like when she was leading us to the wall, she looks over to Marcus and Greed, and she looks at Greed and says, "Just fuck off."
The second you say that, Green just scrambles up. Doesn't get red. He just fucking runs.
Red's on his
Uh,
own.
So, I'll roll for this. It's only fair. Okay. So he gets up, like there's like the scuttle and scraping of shoes as he's like, oh shit, like scrambles, gets up. He like takes one good step, and then Sprite kicks her foot out and trips him. He just ass over tea kettle, fumbles forward, and doesn't stop to say anything snarky, doesn't turn around and be like, fuck you, whatever, just runs, slams into the door, doesn't open right away, fumbles with the door handle, like he's in a horror movie, and then it opens up, and he bursts out onto the street and peels around the corner. And he is gone. And like there's a brief moment of silence as he exits and the door just closes again, and Sprite just shakes her head, says, "What a bitch."
To be fair,
Kaya.
you snapped his wrist into like 50 pieces.
Okay, he's got two hands.
Some days I love you, some days I wonder how you're not in jail.
They turn around and like give you a wink, and then you see them reach up and dab a finger on the corner of their mouth. You can see there's a little bit of blood. And they just wipe it between their fingers, kind of wipe it on their pant. I thought that would be like worse for me, but you took the most of it. I'm looking over to Lockhart. You
Yeah.
good or? And yeah, go ahead and roll.
Lockhart just gives a look of,
First
"Do you
aid.
think I'm good?"
Nodding.
To
Like-
boost.
Boost it. Yeah.
The calm and cool pretense is kind of missing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That will heal one wound.
Great, I'm down to 4.
There you go.
Not on death's door anymore.
Yeah,
Guys.
don't knock the 4 wounds. It's better than what you had.
Uh-huh. Kaya's being very, very careful. Making sure that she's not, bleeding from her abdomen.
Kaya, the suit that she's wearing,
Mm-hmm.
you're not sure if this suit could hold any more blood. There's the only part of the suit that does not have blood on it is her collar, and even then it's a little bit of blood. There is a little bit of blood on it from other people.
Huh. Yeah.
But like the shirt soaked through, torn to shreds. One bullet of the 3 was almost a glancing, or was kind of like a glancing blow. It did pass all the way through her gut, or not her gut, but like part of her abdomen area, and it did not hit any major organs or arteries. It just
Jesus Christ.
sheer luck, she managed to get away with a complete pass through. But this is definitely going to require another visit to Veloska.
Yeah, Kaya, like, getting bandaged, getting something to, like, stop the bleeding, right? It's like, Jesus fucking Locke. Look, we're going back to Veloska's.
Plus me on.
Right.
And Kaya is not leaving your side for the next 3 days minimum, as she makes sure you don't leave Veloska's at this point.
I don't need the lessons, but I do want to use them.
Can't hear you. What?
I won't be leaving the Luskas, but I do want to take them.
Marcus holds up his hand. This might sound like a dumb question, but you don't have like a patrol route or anything that I should take over on?
A what?
A patrol route?
She a vigilante?
Just, I guess, you know, like if you have anything that you physically need to do that I could help with, I will shut up now. And he just clams back down.
You are getting your head bandaged.
Yeah, in a sec. None of y'all are fucking leaving until I get to check you out, alright?
The little floating Larry has pushed the towel and held it against Marcus's head.
Lockhart just gave a Marcus the what the fuck look. Like, really? You think that's what I do?
Just shrugs.
She
like
didn't say anything, but it's like the look.
Like, what?
Marcus and Lockhart have gotten very good at nonverbal communication because it's kind of like the most Lockhart talks.
And like I said, she's much more expressive right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a good way.
No. Once Kai has administered the main fucking abdomen wound bandage to make sure that she doesn't bleed out. Like, okay. Well, we're taking you back to Vloska's. You're not gonna die on the way there, so that's, you know, a plus. You okay, Locke?
Again, the look of like, do I look okay?
Well, you know what I fucking mean.
Just wasn't. It's a very bad day.
Well, I'm just gonna say this. Pretty sure I know what the answer is, but, you know, just for the record, if you do wanna talk about it, you can. But if you don't, also, cool. We can get you
It's
to
nothing.
Voloska's.
There's nothing to talk about.
Well, I feel like that's just not true. You just don't want to talk about it, which is also fine. So we can just get you to Voloska's, get you checked over, get you some, you know, sleep. That'll be good for you.
Legacy, Sprite, like while Kaya and Lockhart are talking, and it's not a loud conversation, I imagine, but the room is quiet. Sprite will turn to look at you, Legacy, and she points at Kaya, and she does. You know the little, like when you make a hole with your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
She makes a hole with her fingers on one hand, and then a hole with her fingers on the other, and then just puts the holes together, back and forth. And then points to Kaya again, and then does 2 thumbs up. And then points to you, and then herself.
Like, you see, I imagine it was like starting to like she's getting back to herself. And so she started like first around one way, nope, there's a body there, let's go around the other way, comes face to face with Sprite, sees this, blinks, processes for a second, facepalm. And in the middle of this fucking silent ass bar, Legacy, like, into her hands. Why do you always fucking think with your imaginary dick?
She immediately they like Sprite peeks over their shoulder to see if Kaya and Lockhart are looking. Do either of them look in their direction?
I imagine no. Kaya's kind of focused, and Lockhart. I imagine Lockhart's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, she's facing that way, but that's about it.
Yeah, and Kaya's fully focused on Lockhart.
Sprite turns back to you, Legacy, and it's just like, no, don't. You don't want them to hear. If they hear, then it won't happen because she's too shy.
Now you're after both of them?
No, I'm not after either of them.
Fucking...
She, and like Sprite does this like, ugh, like curls their fingers gesture, and then they spin around and like put their hands on the side of your head and point it at Kaya and Lockhart. And this would be where the camera zooms in on Kaya very tenderly taking care of Lockhart's wounds, and there's like soft piano music, and the lighting is very warm. And then the camera like cuts back to Sprite holding Legacy's head in that direction, and then just, do you not see what I see right now?
And Legacy just kind of blinks and is like looking between the two of them. And Amy, do you think Kaya has ever discussed relationships with Legacy? Or her aversion to it?
If she was ever asked, I mean, she doesn't exactly have an aversion to it. She's just never been in one. And she's pretty open about it.
So it's probably been at least mentioned at some point.
Yeah. Like, if fucking Legacy ever met, like, Bastion, made an assumption, like, Kaya was same thing, just like, nope, never happened.
Also, Bastion's gay.
Yeah, exactly. Also, Bastion's gay. It's like, it was just literally anyone, if it was ever brought up in conversation or asked about, Kaya has simply never been in a relationship before.
And Legacy just, it's like, looks between the two of them and just kind of jerks her head out of fucking Sprite's hand and looks at Sprite. I know what you are trying to imply here. One of them is a fucking mean-ass bitch. And the other one is fucking clueless. That would take a miracle.
Right, like, puts their hands on their face and kind of drags down, just like, ugh, and then looks and just goes, do you not understand my hand signals? And just goes through all of the hand signals they made again. It's like, but that's why we have to help.
Legacy stares at her for a second.
And then the Sprite specifically goes through the circles, like, punching together, and then points to themselves, and then to you, and is like, what did you think this meant?
Just this still unamused look. And then looks up at Marcus, and then back to Sprite. Do you realize how hard I had to work to get that? You think I'm gonna be able to help that?
Marcus, like, who is kind of spacing out, like, legitimately staring into the middle distance and blinking slowly, and he just snaps and is like, what? Did I miss something? Sorry, I'm really tired. He rubs the back of his head.
We need to get you medical attention. And you probably need to at least get looked over once. And stop fantasizing about playing matchmaker.
But I like Nosy.
And as Sprite's whining, she will catch Sprite's chin and, like, kind of squeeze a little bit so that she can see inside her mouth. Though she is not a doctor, just make sure that there is all the teeth there.
all the teeth are there. What are you doing?
You also got punched.
Oh. Yeah, but I've been punched by worse. He got one good lick in.
And Legacy just nods and kind of looks around. It's like taking stock, looks at Sprite, looks at Calamity. Let's see how... What is Chaos roll?
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Lacey just kind of looks at them and just gives a single nod. Veloska needs to make new friends anyway.
Oh my god.
And we'll like look back at Calamity and say, "You want to meet a really good doctor?"
Calamity, who her head was like leaned back against the counter and her eyes were closed. She snaps up and just goes, "Is he hot?"
No. But he did lose his license by punching a guy out.
Veloska went to prison for that.
You know Veloska?
Oh no, sorry, that wasn't in
That's
character.
joke.
Oh.
That was me.
Well, it was partially, like, he said he lost his license
sorry.
in that process, too.
Yes, yeah. But he lost his license for punching a dude, and Sprite like rubs her chin, goes, "You know, I could know a doctor like that. That's probably good to know."
JJ's there too.
Mm-hmm. And you also get to meet your old friend, Cal. Come on. Conga line to Veluska's.
Ooh. You just, as everyone starts to shuffle towards Legacy and crew, there's just a lone bee standing at the head of, or at the edge of the counter, just rubbing the bags under his eyes. It's like, "I'm gonna bill you for all this shit." You, and he points to Calamity. And she just waves dismissively, just like, "Yeah, that's fine. I'll pay you whenever or something. Like, it's no big deal. All your chairs are still here. We didn't even break a window."
To be fair, we did only break one glass that was important.
Throws up his hands. Just like,
It's the most organized bar fight you've probably ever seen.
"You threw, what, like a fucking dust bomb?"
Slight flinch.
She sighs, waves a hand, and is just like, "Just get out." You specifically, and he points to Calamity. "You get out." Calamity just waves dismissively.
Fucking pickpocket before everybody leaves completely.
Mm-hmm.
We have one body left.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
100%. Need to
You
loot.
do get the gun. The gun is still there. It is a...
Happy birthday, Cosmic.
Oh no. So you have a single handgun that has armor-piercing rounds in it. Finding the rest of the stuff, you find his wallet, which is surprisingly empty. He doesn't even have ID in his wallet. Wonder where that went. But inside the wallet, you find 4 cash.
I want to say, I can't say this because, like, this should technically probably be Lockhart's. But Legacy, I guess, is the one that's going through the pockets. Oh, just leave 2 of the cash for fucking B to get him to shut up.
I'll say that if, like when you root through his wallet, you have 4 cash that you get to keep as a group, and then you can leave some for B. Just like here's his debit card, and you just slide the debit card of the unconscious punk dork across the room to B, and that will provide for whatever damage you had.
Ah, yes, the one glass we broke.
True.
The one
Okay.
glass that we broke in like the 3 rounds of drinks that he would have missed from people staying in.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
also, you bent his good pineapples. You bent
It's
them.
good pineapples. Yeah. All the other ones got fucked up in the last bar fight. You picked the only good ones. Oh, we'll say that Kaya would want to just check over Marcus and Sprite each once she's done on Lockhart before they leave. Just like, okay, stop any bleeding before we get to Veloska's.
Fucking
Double check to make sure.
mini Larry attached to the place where the bleeding is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I will say, save any more. We will save any more rolling for when you all make it to Veloska's,
Okay.
which
So
is
we kinda
going
just,
to
like,
drive him
quickly-
fucking crazy.
Patched up.
Yeah, you
To
can
stop.
quickly patch it up,
Okay.
so that so there's no worry about any excess head blood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Quickly patch up Marcus. She quickly patches up Sprite. Collects the Larrys together.
Mm-hmm. And off you go, back to Veloska.
Yeah. Did Lockhart drive here?
Yeah. She didn't take the motorcycle though. She brought her car.
Okay, cool. Lockhart's not driving back.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Kaya's gonna give her 2 options: either go on Kaya's bike, or Kaya drives the car.
I can drive her car.
I was
Kaya
about to
drives her
say,
car.
like, man, being on the back of a motorcycle with 3 bullet wounds would be a fucking rough one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Awesome.
Kaya and Lockhart get to Veloska's first, just enough time for him to finish bitching at Lockhart, and then get warning, hey, you're about to get a crowd, and then knock, knock, knock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the episode ends with the unconscious shaved head, like terabyte ganger, like waking up from unconsciousness, having been propped up in a chair, and across from him sits B, who is up way past his bedtime, holding the shotgun with one hand, resting the barrel on the table, pointed at him.
Oh my god.
And the dude wakes up, panics, and B just pulls back the hammer on on the shotgun. And he just goes, "Get out!" And the dude gets up, fucks off.
Oh, Joe, real quick, could Kaya have asked Beef, like, hey, can she keep her bike, like, behind the bar?
Oh yeah,
Okay. Okay, cool. Don't want to leave that.
yeah, that's totally fair. You don't have to
Mhm.
worry about your shit getting towed.
Mm-hmm.